Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Ududuwa Nation.
Iwani, Awani, ẹ̀yin ni gbogbo wa ni gbogbo ẹni tó bá ti fẹ́ràn Yorùbá, gbogbo ẹni tó bá ti fẹ́ràn ọmọ Oòduà, gbogbo ẹni tí wọ́n bá ti fẹ́ràn, gbogbo ẹni tó bá ti fẹ́ràn àwa ìran Yorùbá, àwa ni ògo adúláwọ̀. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò tòní. Orúkọ tèmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ ti mọ̀ ní Adé Thomas. Èmi ni wọ́n máa ṣe agbátẹrù ètò ti àṣálẹ́ yìí. Kí Ọlọ́run Elédùà ọba oníbúọrẹ kó bá wa ṣe ní àṣeyọrí, kójú kó má ṣe tì wá. Gbogbo ohun tá a fẹ́ ṣe ní àṣálẹ́ yìí k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó ṣe ní àṣeyọrí fún wa. Kí aláyọ̀ ká yin Ọlọ́run lógo nígbà tí ètò náà bá parí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ mi níbi gbogbo tí ẹ ti ń wò mí. Ètò ti àṣálẹ́ yìí ètò tó máa kọ́ alẹ́ kọ́ ni, nítorí pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe ń sọ láti bí ijọ́ mẹ́ta wá, téèyàn bá mọ ibi tó ti ń bọ̀, tó bá débì kan tó dẹ̀ mọ ibi tó ń lọ, tó bá rí pọ́nà yẹn dàrú, á padà sẹ́yìn, á lọ ṣe àtúntò ìrìn àjò ayé rẹ̀ kó tó rí pé òun rí ọ̀nà tó yẹ kóun gbà kóun lè gba ọ̀nà yẹn lọ. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n ṣe agbátẹrù fún mi lórí gbogbo ètò yìí. Àwọn bàbá, àwọn màmá, àwọn èèyàn wa gbogbo tí mò ń pè pé kí wọ́n bá ṣe ètò tí wọ́n sì ń dá mi lóhùn, nítorí pé kò yí sì ká máa pè wọ́n náà kán sì máa jẹ́ wa tí ò bá ṣe ọlá Ọlọ́run, àti pàápàá pé gbogbo àwọn alálẹ̀ Oòduà ló ti dìde pé dandandandan ìyà ò ní jẹ ọmọ Yorùbá mọ́. Ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Kadijat Ọlájídé mo rí yín, Kúnlé Ṣítà mo rí yín, KS Odùduwà has arrived. Ìní ẹ pè ní Odùduwà ti dé, ìní Odùduwà has arrived, ọ̀la Odùduwà ti dé, Odùduwà ti wọlé, gbogbo ẹ̀ ìkankan náà gbogbo rẹ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀. Adéríbigbé Felicia, Happy Rasheed, èmi náà Happy Adélèmi náà màmá jẹ́ láti ní lọ. Moses Abe, Yemix, Sagacity, Táwà Kìlání, gbogbo yín pátápátá mo recognize presence yín. Ẹ kú déédé àsìkò yìí. Ṣé àlàáfíà la bá yín? Gbogbo lè ńkọ́? Ṣé gbogbo nǹkan lọ déédé? Mi lè ní ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta nítorí mo sì rí yín lánàá. So tá bá jẹ́ family gidi, tó bá yẹ pé ẹbí gidi ni wá lóòótọ́, kò yẹ kó máa tó ọjọ́ mẹ́ta ká máa fi ríra wa. So kò sí ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta. Ṣé dáadáa ni mo bá yín lè ní màá kí gbogbo lé. Ní àṣálẹ́ yìí mo ní àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n mọ ọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n mọ àgbékalẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n mọ ohun gbogbo tó dáa, wọ́n mọ bí nǹkan ṣe rí, wọ́n mọ bí ó ṣe yẹ kí nǹkan rí, wọ́n mọ bí tí nǹkan dé dúró, wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ gbogbo àtúnṣe tó yẹ kí wọ́n bá wa túnṣe lórí rẹ̀. Kíni tí yọ kó lè tí mi ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ má bínú sí mi. So gbogbo àtúnṣe tó yẹ kí wọ́n bá wa ṣe lórí rẹ̀ pátápátá ni wọ́n mọ̀. Gbogbo rẹ̀ láti ti bẹ̀ wọ́n pé kí wọ́n jọ nínú àánú Ọlọ́run kan fi ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run kan fi wọ̀ wá, kí wọ́n wá bá wa dá sí ètò ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Ṣùgbọ́n kí n tó fi ojú àlejò mi hàn, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tó ti like ètò yìí, nítorí pé at least half of the people tó ń wo ètò yìí ní àṣálẹ́, gbogbo yín pátápátá ni ẹ ti fi ìfẹ́ hàn. Adé Bell kò fowó rọlá, mo kí yín o, mo kí gbogbo yín pé ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook bákan náà mo kí yín, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò lórí Twitter mo kí yín. Bókàn tí ẹ jẹ́ pé Twitter ti fárígá, wọ́n ti yọ Periscope, wọ́n ti yọ sínú bin, bọ̀ síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ gbogbo ibi tó bá yẹ kí a ti máa wò ni a ti máa wò. Ètò tàtà àṣálẹ́ yìí ó máa jẹ́ ètò kan tó máa kọ́ wa lọ́gbọ́n lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, nítorí pé gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ ká mọ̀ la máa mọ̀ lálẹ́ yìí, nítorí pé bàbá wa tó wà níkàlẹ̀ ọgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ni wọ́n fi ń ṣe. Ọlọ́run sì ti fún wọn lọ́gbọ́n náà. Ọgbọ́n náà kò ní bàjẹ́ láéláé ní agbára Elédùà. Àǹtí mi bí ń pé mo rí ẹ̀yin náà ti wá, ẹ̀yin náà lè sọ pé ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ boarding pass tẹ́ gbé dání, ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ pé lórúkọ ni mo ṣe mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin náà wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe káàkiri gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáláyé níbi tẹ́ ti ń wò mí. Ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn. David Ọláníyan mo rí yín o, mo rí yín. Ẹ kásẹ̀ yín lẹ̀, mo rí yín dáadáa. Kíni ojoojúmọ́ ni ó máa dá sí, nítorí pé ilẹ̀ Oòduà ó gbọ́dọ̀ dá. Gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá gbà pé kó dá sí láwọn máa gbà a ò ní sọ pé a ti ṣe débi kan ibi tá a ṣe dé yẹn náà la máa dé nípa ẹ̀ náà a ní ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ pé kó dá sí lójoojúmọ́ ayé yìí òun láwọn máa lé káàkiri ó dẹ̀ dá mi lójú pé ó di dandan kó dára gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórin wa kan ṣe máa ń kọrin pé ó ní láti dára oh yes dandan ni kó dára ilẹ̀ Oòduà o ilẹ̀ Yorùbá o ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti wá yìí o dandan ni kó dára. Gbogbo àwọn ìròyìn tá a gbọ́ láti òwúrọ̀ òní ó jẹ́ ohun tí kò dùn mọ́ wa nínú púpọ̀ àti pàápàá pé a gbọ́ ìròyìn kan gbòógì ní ọ̀sán yìí pé wọ́n mú àwọn èèyàn wa kan ní sáìdì Ìbàràpá wọ́n ní àwọn bíi 15 wọ́n wà nínú minibus wọ́n dẹ̀ kó gbogbo àwọn tó wà nínú minibus wọ́n kidnap wọ́n jí wọn gbé. Tẹ́ bá mọ̀ bí nǹkan ṣe bàjẹ́ tó ní orílẹ̀-èdè tí à ń pè ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n jí àwọn èèyàn wa kan gbé ṣùgbọ́n àwọn èèyàn wa tán gbé yẹn èmi ò fọwọ́ sí pé kán gbé wọn mo sì ti ṣe ètò tí mo rò pé ó yẹ ní agbára Ọlọ́run ní àtìlẹ́yìn gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Oòduà pátápátá ayọ̀ àtàlàáfíà la máa gba àwọn wọ̀nyí padà wá sílé nítorí pé Ọlọ́run ló máa bá wa gbà wọn kò sí nǹkan tá a lè ṣe ṣùgbọ́n ó dá mi lójú pé Ọlọ́run á bá a gbà wọ́n padà wá sílé láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà tí ò sí nǹkan kan tó máa ṣe wọ́n gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá gbà òun náà la máa fi fún un. Mo kí bàbá wa tó wà níkàlẹ̀ pé ẹ kú déédé àsìkò yìí ṣùgbọ́n láì fi ọ̀pá pọ̀ ọ̀lọ́pọ̀lọ́ péjọ mo fẹ́ ṣe àkíní náà sí gbogbo ibi tó bá yẹ kó dé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú àkàn kí n fi ṣe ẹ̀ sí gbogbo ibi tó yẹ kó jẹ́ kó wá jẹ́ pé ìgbà tá a bá lọ tán àríyànjiyàn máa ṣẹlẹ̀ pé àwo orí àwárí àwo orí àwárí àwárí àwo orí àwárí àwo orí àfẹ́ àríyànjiyàn ṣẹlẹ̀ rá nítorí ìdí èyí ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú díẹ̀ kí n pín dé gbogbo ibi tó bá yẹ kí n pín dé. Mo dẹ̀ bẹ̀ yín pé gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa pàápàá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ nínú àánú Ọlọ́run ẹ bá mi pín kinní ọ̀hún kó dé gbogbo ibi tó yẹ kó dé pátápátá nítorí pé tá a bá jọ wò ó tá a bá jọ pín la máa rí ẹ̀kọ́ púpọ̀ pọ̀ nínú rẹ̀. Ìdí tí a kò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe sí ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà mọ́ ìdí tó fi yẹ ká dá dúró àwọn ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kan tí a máa mú wá ní òrèkóòrè fún wa nìyẹn kí kinní òun kó bá lè yé wa dáadáa nítorí pé tó bá yé wa dáadáa ibẹ̀ ni a ti máa rí ẹ̀kọ́ gidi ẹ̀kọ́ gbòógì kọ́ nínú rẹ̀ mi mọ̀ bóyá àwọn kan wà lórí ìkànnì ní àṣálẹ́ tí wọ́n mọ nǹkan tí ó ń jẹ́ gbòógì ó dá mi lójú pé kì í ṣe gbogbo àtàwà lórí ìkànnì lára mo gbòógì nítorí pé àwọn kan nínú wa ọmọ àjẹbọ́tà ni wọ́n gbé mi ò ń ṣe ọmọ àjẹbọ́tà ọmọ oko pákínso ni àwọn míì èmi ò ń ṣe ọmọ oko pákínso ń tèmi torí tí n bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín pé ibo náà ti ń rí pákí ẹlòmíì kan tí ẹ mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ pákí tí n bá tó wá béèrè pé ta ló mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá ta ló mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá ẹni tó bá mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá kó bá mi kọ sórí àwọn ìta àwọn nǹkan tá à ń tẹ̀ síbi ayábẹ́ àṣà ẹ bá mi tẹ̀ síbẹ̀ ẹni tó bá mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá ta ló mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá mo fẹ́ mọ̀ bóyá ẹ sì gbọ́ Yorùbá ń ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó bá gbà pé ká máa kọ́ra wa ní nǹkan náà láà máa kọ́ra wa mo fẹ́ mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá ní àṣálẹ́ yìí ẹni tó bá mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá ẹ bá mi kọ́ sí gbàgùdá ẹni tó bá mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá kó bá mi kọ́ sí ẹni tó bá mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ pákí kó bá mi kọ́ sí náà bákan náà kí ló ń jẹ́ pákí kí ló ń jẹ́ gbàgùdá bóyá tí n bá bí oríṣiríṣi bóyá ẹ lè mọ̀ ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀nà. òkè dókítà mo rí yín o ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe ẹ ti ń prepare fún ètò yín ní ọjọ́ ti ọ̀la Olódùmarè á bá wa mú ọjọ́ rò ní ayọ̀ àti àlàáfíà. ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn wa díẹ̀ kan wọlé sí kí n tó fi ojú àlejò mi hàn ní nítorí pé àwa ló yẹ ká kọ́kọ́ dé káwọn gangan tó dé ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà míì oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló máa ń fà á tí ẹ mọ̀ pé mo ṣe sọ ní ìjẹta pé ọ̀sán ni a máa mú ètò ìwá fún yín lénìí ṣùgbọ́n àwọn èèyàn wa kan ló pè mí pé irọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣẹ lọ́sàn-án ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe lálẹ́ a lè má ṣe lálẹ́ tó jẹ́ àjìn ṣùgbọ́n ká ṣe lálẹ́ nítorí kó lè ní àǹfààní fún àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà níbi tó yẹ pé àwọn náà máa wà níbi iṣẹ́ ká ṣe nígbà tó yẹ pé ó máa balance díẹ̀ kò ní fìsapá bí kò ní fìsapá ọ̀hún gbogbo àwa méjèèjì náà á lè jọ enjoy díẹ̀ mo mọ̀ pé àwọn tó wà ní UK tó bá di ṣe díẹ̀ ní tí wọ́n bá ti wò díẹ̀ wọ́n á fẹ́ lọ bí iṣẹ́ láàárọ̀ la ṣùgbọ́n ó dá mi lójú pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín náà lè máa lọ bí iṣẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ẹ ní lọ sùn ẹ ṣáà máa fẹ́ wò tán ṣáá ni gbogbo làálàá yín lórí ilẹ̀ Odùduwà kò dẹ̀ ní já sí asán ní agbára Ọlọ́run ọba. Mo kí yín káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò ti àṣálẹ́ yìí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi ní gbogbo tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi káàkiri mẹ́rin àgbáláyé kí a máa lọ síwájú ká máa tẹ̀síwájú lórí ètò tòní màá máa fi ojú àwọn bàbá wa tí mo gbé wá máa fojú wọn hàn kí a lè rí pé bàbá ò tá a kọ fún wọn jọ yẹn bàbá yẹn ń ṣiṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run dá wọn sí wọ́n sì wà láyé wọ́n wà láàyè wọn pẹ̀lú ayọ̀ àti àlàáfíà náà sì wà. Mo kí yín pé ẹ kú gbogbo bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ sí. Bàbá ẹ kú alálẹ́ níbẹ̀ yẹn o bàbá wa. Mi tí ì tan ẹ̀rọ microphone.
Àwọn tó wà ní àwùjọ mo kí gbogbo yín o, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín gidigidi pé ẹ tún dìde lálẹ́ pé ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan díẹ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ nípa àwọn àti ìbéèrè tẹ́ bá béèrè àwọn èsì tí màá lè fún yín torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ló wà nílẹ̀ tí a fojú di mi ò fẹ́ ká fojú di nǹkan kan mọ́ láti sìn torí tá a bá fojú di ọ̀nà wàhálà láti tètè mọ ibi tá máa dé ẹ̀ náà ni pé the dissolution of the amalgam tá bá máa ṣe ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ àwọn tó ń ṣe business náà pé tán bá amalgamate company tàbí àwọn elements of production or any other thing tán bá amalgamate ẹ̀ tí ò bá ṣiṣẹ́ nǹkan tó máa gbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ ní dissolution. Nítorí náà kọ́ mi ò fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn máa sọ pé à ń ṣe agitation for pé à ń fẹ́ self-rule. It's not self-rule. Total sovereignty. The dissolution of the amalgam. Torí àwọn tó ń ṣe gan wọ́n mọ̀ pé wọn ò mọ̀ pé ó máa deep sí i torí wọ́n rò bó máa tètè túká even before 1925 but àwọn èèyàn wá ti dìde kan tó kó gba àwọn lẹ̀ pé àwọn dá ọjà yẹn lẹ̀ tán pé Nàìjíríà àwọn èèyàn wá ti gbá agogo wọ́n claim Nàìjíríà wọn claim orílẹ̀-èdè tiwọn ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ti bàjẹ́ nìyẹn. And ó wá súnmọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ló tún wá súnmọ́ pé tí ìlú bá fẹ́ ní ìlọsíwájú àwọn basic things kan wà critical infrastructure ètò le jù lára ẹ̀ ní electricity then education free health agricultural development ṣùgbọ́n electricity yẹn òun ló máa power gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ tí ó bá ṣe electricity báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ tọ́jú oúnjẹ tẹ́ bá gbìn tó pọ̀ rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́ ó máa bàjẹ́. Refrigeration is necessary. Mo tún kí mi ò fẹ́ ní pé mo ṣáájú bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ẹ kú kalẹ̀ o Ọlọ́run á dúró ti gbogbo yín tẹ́ fún ara yín lásìkò láti gbọ́ díẹ̀ lára nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ. Ẹ ṣeun.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá wa gbogbo ohun tí ẹ máa sọ fún wa lálẹ́ yìí Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kó wà létí ó bẹ̀ yín nítorí pé ọ̀rọ̀ iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná ni a fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Nígbà tí a wà ní kékeré àwọn kan wà wọ́n máa ń pè ní up nepa mi mọ̀ bóyá ẹ ṣe rántí àpèjúwe yẹn up nepa ẹ máa ń pariwo ń gbà ya ọmọ kéèké. Bàbá ṣé gbọ́ mi sà.
ṣé ibi tí ẹ ti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni ẹ.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Ẹ gbàgbé ECN a máa lọ sẹ́yìn sí.
Ok ECN ló kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀
ECN bí ECN ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbà tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ pé àwọn tiraka pé àwọn ṣe ìlọsíwájú ìdàgbàsókè wọ́n bá commission pé kán kọ́ Kainji Dam. Ọmọ wa kan Pa Lágúnjú was the director of NDA. NDA then was Niger Dam Authority, and it was supposed to produce 960 megawatts of electricity for the whole of the country. But before then, there was this small mini dam tó wà ní Jos tó ń ṣe for the processing of tin and columbite. Àwọn tó bá ṣe geography máa rántí, àti pé wọ́n máa ń sọ pé Jos ní torí pé Plateau ni ó wà high, ó máa ń tutù bí ìlú òyìnbó náà ni. So, but electricity yẹn ó ṣe mí láàánú pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ò fojú sí pé wọ́n mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ fi jẹ wá ń yà nísàlẹ̀ ni. Wọ́n fi jẹ wá ń yà. Nígbà tán ní wọ́n máa fún wa ní 960 megawatts, ìlú mélòó ní 960 megawatts máa kárí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Èkó nìkan needs 11,000 megawatts to survive as a city because of the large population. 11,000 megawatts if it's going to be a functional city with all the industries booming, the roads, traffic, hospitals, schools, the internet, communication. Lagos needs nothing less than 11,000 megawatts of electricity to even stand in the realm of cities of the world. Well, but tí wọ́n dá kíní Kainji lẹ̀, Chief Lagunju told us, because it was one of the studies we went to do in 1969. We spent about 2.5 weeks there. We went through every details of the development. And one of the joys of what we saw as budding geographers and geologists was there was going to be a microclimatic effect around the dam, which will provide luscious grassland for the cattle around, or also the cultivation of fresh fruits and vegetables because of the large expanse of open water that the dam was going to provide. That's the advantages of dams. Most people think that the dams are really necessary, even though it will take over some of the land that we need for agriculture. There's one question I want us to ask ourselves. We have cities. These cities have taken over the land that was either in forest or animal habitation before. So we should be able to appreciate that at some point, human being is going to take over certain lands for purpose of development. But at the same time, you should not forget to replace, where possible, those things that have been destroyed. And that's particularly reforestation. And then rechannelization and stopping what I would call soil erosion by doing terracing, which the East have refused to do. Instead, they keep on complaining to the rest of the country, we have soil erosion and not gully erosion. It's simple to control. Why? The same type of land we have in Thailand and all other Southeast Asian and even China, hilly places, you see it's terraced round. I wish I could zoom one of the pictures of terracing. I will try to improve my deposition, my presentation, bí ṣe ń sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀. Máa gbìyànjú láti máa fi àwọn àwòrán kan, maybe from the next this. Torí táwọn èèyàn bá rí àwòrán, wọ́n á mọ nǹkan tí mò ń sọ. Tí gbogbo kíní ló yẹ kán ti ṣe, but wọn ò ṣe. Ara kíní tí Zik fi complain tó sọ pé tóun bá kó àwọn èèyàn wọn lọ sí East, that was in the 50s, specifically 53. Nígbà tí wọ́n dábàá pé kólúkálùkù dá dúró, wọn ò rí bí kó 1.2 million àwọn èèyàn sí. But if you look at Eastern region, the land is vast. is there. Not every square inch of it is habited by human activity. Just like our own places. Torí àwọn kan tí máa ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ gbà mí wá ní àwọn ti gba gbogbo ilẹ̀ tán nílẹ̀ wa. You are only looking at the roadside. If you fly over the country, of which I always prefer to fly in during the daytime and take pictures, there's vast empty land. We just have pockets of cities, particularly most of it are in the Yoruba speaking area. Pockets of cities in the forest. These are some of the things bá ṣe ń dàgbà sí tá bá kàwé yẹ ká máa rò pé bó ni mo wà, bó ni mo ń gbé, bó mo ti ń bọ̀, bó ni mo ń lọ. And coming back to the issue of electricity, like I said, it is the most important element of development. When America was, even before the Second World War, when they wanted to expand industry and all that, they commissioned the building of the Hoover Dam and the Grand Coulee Dam to provide electricity. And when the Second World War came, it was the ready source of energy for production, for iron and steel, for the fabrication of military equipment, aircrafts and everything. If they were not the source of that electricity, where would they have got all that armament? Before you know it, they were producing 4 times more than the Germans were. Here we are in Nigeria. Instead of increasing our electricity usage
Production.
and availability and production and distribution, we are rather destroying it. And then some of us, it was sad to me that mo wà Ìbàdàn tí mò ń gbọ́ pé àwọn tí mò ń gbọ́ láàrin àwọn èèyàn wa ìwọ tó bá lówó ẹ̀ lò ní ra generator pa ní ṣé generator náà fi ń ṣèlú. And I want to tell you my experiences. I've been very close to the quest for development. I've talked to many people who are commissioners and my friends way back in those days, but I refused to be part of government because I did not want to be corrupted mentally. Because I know someday people are going to listen to what I have to say. Because I've seen everything. It's not a pride, it's a sad thing to me that in the midst of plenty we are suffering. Ọlọ́run fi àwọn odò jíǹkì wa. Several rivers are flowing rapidly from our Yoruba hills freely into the sea, which we should have harnessed, or even what we call harvesting it without building a dam. Divert a little bit of it, pipe it down into a turbine, and generate electricity pronto, and then the water goes back into the river. There are several locations like that in Yoruba. Several locations. And then òyìnbó náà wọ́n try wọ́n ti ṣe àwọn waterworks káàkiri, or most of which are dead now. The waterworks was not built by the British or by the colony of Lagos. It was built by an individual, Darosa. Before, I will tell you that the waterworks was not built by the government. It was built by Darosa. When he came, they were a very rich family from this thing. Babawon was an Ijesha man who was captured and taken to Brazil, but kò gbàgbé ilé bọ́n ṣe máa ń sọ. Yorùbá ò kí ń gbàgbé ilé. Tán bá tẹ̀ pa síbi sí ibì kan, ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ máa padà sílé ni. Yorùbá ò ń gbàgbé ilé, àfi tí ó bá jẹ́ ọmọ àlè Yorùbá. So that's why they came and they started building. Some of you know the Brazilian porters in this. That man was so rich that sometimes he had to send his laundry to London because at the Ilesha ló ń gbé. That's one of the things. Because kò tí sí àwọn machines tó ń ṣe kíní nígbà yẹn. The electricity that was provided as the Jora was supposed to be enough for just 450,000 people. Now, Ijora power station is not even working. The Egbin power station is not working. And then we are depending on the trickle electricity piped to us by some wretched grid system that is old from 1969 that should have been upgraded. And you see, it's a deliberate act of government at the center. And they envied the very vast industrial establishment that Awolowo left in Ikeja and Ibadan and all other locations. So Tom Balede to develop. Therefore, they refused to, because it was a federal item, they refused to allow it to grow. If you really want a country to grow, you must be a step ahead of the expanding population by providing the critical infrastructures, electricity, roads, railways, waterways, waterworks, water into homes, not these boreholes. Most of Lagos has been perforated over that. Houses are getting down. And if there's no electricity, how do you even pump the water? Now coming to Oyo Dam in Ogun State. Oyo Dam was built as part of the vision to create about 3,000 hectares of irrigated land in that area where we have the fighting now, the Yewa area. Get on to Igbora, Lanlate, and all that. What happened? When that dam was created, it had a 9 megawatt capacity, grudgingly installed, I would say. It could have more. It was grudgingly installed. Is it working? No. By 1983, when it was commissioned, by 84, Buhari said they should close it down. There was no funds from the federal account to continue the development of that, because that dam is supposed to again provide potable water to all homes in Lagos and Abeokuta. It's very like that. And then the second dam that on Ogun River to supplement it. Is it working? No. It's flooding Lagos almost annually. Are the people doing anything? You see pictures of people wading, oh God. It's sad. And yet we have big men, politicians, strutting all over the place and calling themselves by whatever names they think they can call, and deceiving the young ones who know not much because they have lost the sense of history, and history has not been taught to them. What do we have? Should Lagos be having power outage? No. There should not be any load shedding in Lagos. But we have people, stupendously rich people, living in this mist and parading themselves with giant generators. Does that work with industry? No. I know of many people who have established industries and so on. The overhead of maintaining those generators makes a mockery of whatever they are making from those industries. Is that civilization? Is that development? What are we talking about? And in the process, all our people started buying the little generators. Most of them would have, I know of some people from here who went home with asthma. They're trying to set up their generator. The fume of the petrol killed them. They wanted to go and enjoy home, the houses they just built.
Wow.
That's a life. There are thousands of the citizens or these generators blowing up in some homes all over the country, particularly in Yoruba land, where people love life. We do love life, but subtly we are being trapped into struggling to attain the level of life we seem to want to get up to. And why? The roads, even the roads built, why there's no electricity, you don't have signals to pass traffic. For years, Lagos did not have traffic lights, and some people were glad not to move. Is that civilization? I hear it. I go home a lot, and I ask my mates, "Is this what you are condoning?" Even like the time the bad fuel was brought to Nigeria, I told my friends, "Can't you sue the government?" No, we can't. Don't you know the person who brought it in, Abacha? So what a life! These are enough reasons to depose that amalgam has failed. When you amalgamate a body, if it doesn't perform the function it's supposed to, then you dissolve it.
Yeah.
That's the message, part of the message I want to pass to everybody. We are not struggling for our new nation. We are calling for the dissolution of the amalgam. It has failed and failed woefully. I want the sing song to change from now. It's not about questioning the amalgam. It has failed. Even the people who set it up knew that it was going to fail. It is in documents that I have with me, which we are going to publish in audio form for people to listen to. There are so many things that we look at. It's very easy to have mini hydroelectric power. Some years back, the German trade and industry team came to exhibit the building of mini hydroelectricity to the so-called country called Nigeria. Mini hydroelectricity does not take more than 6 months for it to come on stream and pass electricity to wherever it is needed. In the Yoruba land, we can have more than 2,000 mini hydroelectric power stations. And each of them, let's say each of them provides about 2 megawatts. That's 4,000 megawatts. It's already more than what Nigeria has. Apart from that, we can still expand. I was telling one of the governors that, look, your water was, go and restore it and also upgrade it. Let it produce electricity, and also make sure that it serves for agriculture, irrigation. They don't look at it. Alex Ajala is all talking. I have to continue to talk until we understand that we are our own enemies. We are not seeing the truth. We are not seeing the beautiful nation that the Yoruba land is. We think NGO. It's not NGO. NGO cannot do anything. That was where, sorry, I have to mention this. When I started I don't like saying it, a course, Siwaju, I don't want to say the real word. My mentor then from Oxford University said, yeah, I should do something on NGOs. I said, NGO is not the problem. The problem is the lack of the management of the resources that we have and shortages that are not supposed to be there. Why shortages? If there is electricity, we'll be able to build storages. We'll be able to store food for some years at different temperatures, so that in times of famine, we can go into the stores and pass redistribute and sell these foods. A lot of our mangoes and oranges, particularly those of you who know Oyo State and Fiditi, tons and tons of oranges just get spoiled along the roadside. Things that should have been processed, packaged, hydrated or dehydrated and stored in powder form.
Let me come in there. Do you remember Lafayette Canning Factory?
Yeah, I know. I took samples from there to London, and they confirmed that of highest quality, but Lafayette closed down because I have people working there. I've been to almost virtually every institution that is meant for growth. To me it was fun, but I was trying to learn something. I want us to be at the same level as the international community. That was my dream, and that is still my dream. I believe we can achieve it. We have wherewithal, we have well-trained young men and women in various fields of learning, in engineering, in soil science, in everything, in medicine, and even in catering, trying to reformat our foods so that it becomes an international cuisine. No one is useless, even the sweeper.
Wow. Baba, thank you very much for all this. I'm going to come in a little bit there. When I was a little boy, I used to go to Ijebu Farm Project. There's a dam in Ikiri as well. And all these things being made at Ijebu Farm Project, because of lack of electricity, the project collapsed. Because at that time, Ijebu Farm Project, which is called Akpoje, was in the middle of the bush.
Yeah.
Thick bush. You have to drive for about the Ijebu Farm Project extend from Ijebu Igbo down to Ekpe. And it was a fantastic farm settlement. You drive hours in there. My father used to be the one running that farm project then. I know how many times they did so many evil things to my dad because he wouldn't let them embezzle the money. But that's by the way. I still have some few people in England here that are supposed to be educated, that are supposed to have wisdom, that are supposed to have knowledge. But all these idiots, I call them idiots, they're still clamoring for one Nigeria.
May I want to say, please, more money, so don't call them idiots.
Baba, it's not that they don't know. You know, in Kote Yoruba,
Tomba money, one more bunch of my to pọ̀ láti sọ fún ẹni kejì pé nǹkan báyìí ló yẹ ká ṣe. More money, willfully blindness. And you know, when I'm talking, my mind goes out to every one of us, all Yorubas, whether you like me or not. I pray for you from my mind that one day you will see the truth so that we can all start to enjoy the fruit of the land that Olodumare tó fún wa, centered from Ife. And most white people know this, but we are blind to it. And that's why you find that most people worldwide are coming to learn about our people, to learn about our ancient traditions, because they see purity in it. And because we hold high Allah, those who know what it is. Assure Allah. And that is light. And that is electricity. See? It's electricity. If you don't tó bá ní ìmọ́lẹ̀, báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ tó máa yege?
Impossible.
You see, we have everything. like you mentioned, Abuja and all other farm settlements all over, and even training centers, institutes, like the one in Ijebubo, a technical training center, where they were making metal chairs and tables, high quality. One uncle, Mr. Shenti Kolonfonke, I don't know if he's still around, was the director of that project amongst the young. The same thing with our the leather training institute, where they were making shoes like the Italians. I was telling my friends in the ministry, don't you think it's best for us to now buy them large machines so that they can start producing and create a market? You see, it's the lack of looking ahead, which I want to see. If you want to know about what you can do in the future, you have to look far back. What are others doing? What are my own people doing? And that will inform you about today, and that will be able to give you what you are going to look for in the future. Because you can shape your future by understanding what to do today from the experiences of yesterday. But if you don't have those three together, because I've had occasions when I'm talking to some people, history, I said, history? Then I still want to ask one thing. You were born one day. That day was the beginning of your history. So can you forget when you were born? So never ever say history. Let us pick from history and learn from it to shape today, to be able to decide our future. And that is why the case for electricity, abundance, for people to grow. I was just speaking to somebody in Lagos in darkness, using the light of the mobile phone to see. That's Lagos, one of the biggest cities in the world. No electricity. And how do we condone that? And we say we are still Nigerians. That's enough for us to declare that Amaga, let us go our different ways so that we can develop. There are waterfalls around Etiosa, and I've been there. I slept in the sun there in the 1960s when we went to build a community center as students before youth service started. I'm sorry, I don't like to. I just want to say it because we can do it. I have participated. Some of my colleagues are still alive today. It is the same thing we are saying. What is wrong with our people that we cannot see that we need to do our things ourselves? We don't need wholesale invitation of the white man to come and do it for us, particularly the Chinese. Is it railway? What railway sleepers? Can't we do the fabrications now? We set all the factories and start doing railway sleepers. We have an iron and steel industry, and we do our rails. We can do everything, but Ajakuta had been scuttled because I will tell you, the people trying to manage it found that most of the people going to work there are going to be from the south. I'll tell you, I can stand anywhere because they've used thousands of pounds to train some boys. I met some of them here who are cleaners, engineers, metallurgical engineers who are supposed to be working in Ajakuta. They were sent back after training that there's no job. When if you Google Ajakuta and you see the massive city, it could take about 56,000 people. That place still has electricity. Fortunately enough, they have not killed the electricity in that place. They are maintaining it, and they are using it to serve the local area around that, the local area, Lokoja, and then part of Ondo State, part of Kogi State, and all that, and part of is it Edo State, or because all those state things I'm not very interested. because we should be our own people. You see, electricity is important, is the key. And look at now, if it is in Nigeria now, like you said earlier, the electricity will go say up NEPA. And let me tell you about one of the greatest dangers of the lack of electricity. This document was given to me by a professor of statistics, the World Health, a mere consulting clinic. It's a book, it's a small book. I had to make copies of it. It's a deposition that was submitted at the United Nations. 35 years of medical research storage was destroyed at the University of Ibadan Teaching Hospital because there was no electricity to maintain the critical temperatures for it. 35 years of medical research. The material was produced by Professor Akinkunmi of the University of Ibadan. And this was delivered as a lecture paper of 1996, the alumni lecture. See, this is just one of the examples. Was it the case of people on a theater table and electricity goes and that's the end of their life? Some of you listening to me know what I'm talking about. These are some of the things we have to be reflecting on. We need to dissolve the amalgam. The amalgam has nothing to do for even the Igbos or you Fulanis or this, because let everybody go to his own room, his own corner of the territory that was aggregated together by fiat at the expense of the French, because some of the land that now called Nigeria should have been part of the French territories. That's a fact. Some of the others still have the papers that were signed by the French officials that were running through the bushes of West Africa trying to find a treaty, sticking together. Oh, I've signed this one there. Oh, you have not been there. That it was like a circus trying to create the country we now know as Nigeria or Niger or anything. The Cameroon, Benin or Dahomey. That was all that was happened. So invariably, we don't have African country yet. When we were calling for independence, we should have been calling for the dissolution of those countries. We haven't had independence. It's not independence. Because we are not in control of our own destiny. Because we foolishly decide to hold on to what did not belong to us. And we pretend that like Nigeria belongs to us. I hear a lot of people, Iluwa ni Nigeria, Gidi. I say, for God's sake, what was the Gidi not pay? No. When I heard that word once, I said, Kili Boni Gidi wa Oni Nigeria, but Gidi ko. Ṣé ti àwọn amamakọ́lé tí kóyìnbó tó dúró pé ibíbà làwọn pàṣẹ dé o, wọ́n ti gbé fúláàgì wọn sọ pé àwọn làwọn ní. These are some of the nuances of behavior that even affects the development of critical infrastructure, electricity. We keep quiet. It's getting spoiled. Some of us have money. I don't have a generator. Unfortunately, I have one, but it's not to my pleasure. But this is the situation we find ourselves. Boreholes. When you shoot, there are rivers flowing all over the place, for God's sake. All you need to do is to dam them, process the waters, pipe them into homes, so that children will wake up in the morning and go to Baluwe. Let me use the language. Kan yí táàpù kó mi ṣe sórí wọn, kan wẹ̀, kan múra, kan fún wọn ní oúnjẹ àárọ̀, wọ́n máa lọ sílé ìwé. Not going to máa fa kànga. That's not civilization.
No.
We should reject all this. And to reject is to dissolve the amalgam. We should not allow people to continue to suffer. If you know the suffering at home, even though you see a lot of people dancing like that, well, you see, one. They are dancing and they're looking over their shoulder. Is that not what happens to all of us when we go home? It's because this critical infrastructure has been denied us. And now coming to the point, hello Google, I think I sent it to you. If you can, about dams in Nigeria. More than 80% of the dams in Nigeria are in the north, and they are all working. They are producing electricity, they are producing water for irrigation. But the few ones in the south, none of Ikeregoj Dam was started in late 79 late 78, and was passed down to Shagari by my big brother, the ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo, and he told us, because this personal discussion, that pass but you got there for 8 years, you didn't even bother to check out the place. Àwọn ìbò tó ń ṣe survey káàkiri wọn tún débẹ̀ wọn ni pé what a waste. This thing that should be functioning, provide water and irrigation and electricity to the people of Oyo State, títí the so-called express láti Ìbàdàn ó dé lọ́ra àwọn gbàgbé. It didn't complete it. Yet we keep quiet, and yet we are finding a political accommodation with the people who are destroying us subtly. Why? Kuri, àkọ́kọ́ bí o mọ bí ṣe máa sọ́nà, ṣé nǹkan kan jẹ ọpọlọ wa ni tàbí mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ máa rántí pé ìlú wa lélẹ́yìn tá ń pe ìlú onílùú nílùú irú ẹnìkan tí ó sọ pé òun wá sí bíbá láti ṣó pé Yorùbá àti Fúlàní kan náà ni wọn. Ìjọ ni ancestral origin wa jẹ́ kan náà, for God's sake. For political reasons, can you sell your own origin? Òyìnbó ò ní ṣe irú ẹ̀ láéláé. Neither with the Chinese. Bí Chinese ṣe súnmọ́ àwọn Japanese tó ní ìran, wọn ò pera wọn ní Japanese. Fi tó bá sọ fún yín tẹ́ bá rí Chinese àti Japanese ẹ̀rọ bí kan náà ni wọ́n.
Yes.
But they know their identity. Why will you, because of some spurious political accommodation, try to prove an unprovable truism, anthropologically wrong?
Well.
I'm ready to confront any one of them. Because my message is to everybody in that country. We should stop deceiving ourselves. We should go our separate ways. That was exactly what I told Adubairo when he sent somebody to me in London here, or rather to our group, and I was the one who was identified. Somehow, that the message was they saw our book. I don't know if I have it nearby. I showed the back of it. They saw this book, which we produced in 1999, August. Yeah, that's it. I don't know if it's focused.
Yeah.
And we said the case for self-determination. That was the time we used that word, 1999. We distributed these copies to all governors right in the south. Then we sent copies to this federal government through the Attorney General, because it's a deposition on a very critical point. The copies, the Attorney General then was a Fulani person. He took a copy and went to give it to the only three. He took one of the copies that meant for federal government to the Emir of Kano, Adebayo. And Adebayo called Rimi, and that He told me, you are the one who has friends among the Yorubas. Then Remy remembered one Mr. Bello from Ilorin. And Mr. Bello happened to have a brother in London who happens to be my friend. You see the link? And then Bello came and said, this is the message. I was asked to come and find out what do we intend to do. I told him, since you did not bring a letter, I'm not going to write a letter. And the fact is, we should all go our separate ways so that we can develop according to our own pace, religion and ancestral origin, according to our languages. And if we don't do this, we are in trouble. This was the message I sent way back year 2000, early year 2000. That was when Adebayo sent a message. It's all borders on energy. It's all related, Allah. And if you don't have light, don't have a future. Alájúlẹ̀ ni àròbá ní mọ́lẹ̀. Àti ni.
Very deep, Baba. Very, very deep. I feel like crying. And our elites, the sun, the people we think they are well enlightened, the people who we thought are well read, all these people, the people who thinks, do Yoruba people have problems themselves? Do we have problems ourselves? Ṣé ṣòro kan wà nínú ayé wa tí ó jẹ́ kí ẹlòmíì tó bá ti ní bámúbámú lòun yó. I remember before 2015 election, I remember what Fashola said. I remember what Ahmed Tinubu said. I remember what Buhari said. One of them even said, after 2 years, stone us if we don't fix electricity. Can we stone them now? Is it possible to stone them? Maybe we need to chase them and stone them back, Baba. Maybe kind of fuck on one lorry.
No, it is, you see, we need to educate our people right from, like I said last time, right from Moikoko, Kiya, Tonfulomu, Kiya, Soto, Fuomo. This is what it is. This is what we are suffering. And I want you to grow up to see that we are now trying to have a solution to it.
Baba, Edrumeno. Remember, last year, around this time last year, what we're doing now, we're supposed to have been doing it last year. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
It was some people that bastardized it that it never happens. It wasn't the coronavirus alone. I think TJ, Tajuddin Rahim, was quite ready to go through with it because he went to Lusham Rigor Center to go and investigate hiring a place there whereby you supposed to be recalibrating our heads, giving us all these informations. But out of selfish interest, I want to be in the front, I want to be the leader, I want to rule, I want to have influence, I want to do that. What they don't know how to do, they want to do it, and they bastardize it. This is why it takes us a year to bring this information out, because this information is supposed to have been out all along the lines, because I know you know it, I don't know it, so I can't educate people about it. But it would have been easier. But you know what they're gonna time it to? God's time is the best.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
I know you're gonna say God's time is the best. I know, Baba. I know you're gonna say that.
Don't be sad.
It is sad.
We have to carry everybody along, because that's my. You see, Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ò pé ọmọ Yorùbá kankan ní ògúlùtù. Gbogbo wa ní ọmọ Olódùmarè. So we need to be together, even those who don't know. Even àwọn tó ń fi ẹsẹ̀ òsìn ìkan náà ni wà. Torí ká máa lọ kó sí inú kòtò tó ń gbẹ́ fún erin torí mo kọrin yẹn fún.
àwọn mẹ́rin jọba ẹ̀wẹ̀wú ẹ̀wẹ̀lẹ́.
So ó wá rẹ́rìn mo ní kábíyèsí nǹkan tí mò ń sọ that was some years ago ó ní à ń kó sínú kòtò ilẹ̀ wa ò ní ṣe é gbé tá a bá ṣọ́ra. I've seen this a long time and àwọn bàbá kan tí mo ti máa ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ way back to year 2000 wọ́n máa ń pè mí sí London pé ọmọ àwọn orí táwọn Fúlàní máa ń kó màálù wọnú igbó lọ o wọ́n á kàn wá wọ́ ewì bí eṣuṣu and in the process màmá kan tó yẹ pé gbogbo ọdún ayé ẹ̀ ló fi wá ọmọ ó bí ọmọkùnrin yẹn was 12 and this woman was 70 kẹwo ọdún tí ìyá ẹ̀ bí ọmọ wọ́n pa ọmọ yẹn. All because oníkan má jẹ okòwò mọ́. That was year 2010 kì í ṣe kó ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ and I be reporting this to those I believe will listen but ó dàbẹ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ gbọ́ wọn fẹ́ gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo alọmọ Olódùmarè kò yẹ ká sọnù.
bọ́ a ti sọnù báyìí bàbá a ti sọnù táàbà kan tiẹ̀ sọnù a ti sọnù báyìí.
ẹ máa jí padà kan tí Olódùmarè ní kí a fi iyè sí nìyẹn gbogbo a máa jí padà ní òdodo gbogbo ojú wa máa là sí òdodo a ní rí òkùnkùn ká pè ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ mọ́. a ní rí òkùnkùn ká pè ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ mọ́ torí ọ̀rọ̀ náà yẹn tó bá wà ní ṣebí even the Lagos Ibadan Express under Obasanjo was supposed to be electrified kí àwọn iná wà láti Èkó dé Ìbàdàn àti telephone points 91 million pounds or so no vote fún tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n kàn scratch it. It's in their records. I find out this is ẹ wo kíní rest point tó wà ní kíní was very beautiful man dúró ń bẹ̀ in those days hotel wà ń bẹ̀ you just drive in you wait you eat bẹ́ẹ̀ pé èèyàn wà nílùú èbò ni but when you get there now what is there now it's a wretchedness of some of us who know the place in those days the lay-by in Shagam.
Yes, I remember that one. I remember that one very well.
Every place was well-tied, parking lots, food, restaurants. If you like to stay overnight safely, oh God. But that can only be maintained if you plan your development in terms of the growth of the people, improving the infrastructure, improving the electricity availability, improving the education, and free health service. By the way, I want to mention to every one of us listening, if we had continued as Western region, we will have been celebrating 67 years of free health service in Western region now. But what do we have? People are dying cheaply, all because they cannot have money to buy cotton wool to go to the hospital. Am I lying? If your relations are sick, if you don't send money to them at home, they die. It shouldn't be like that. And even research materials in the hospitals, some of them are not properly maintained because of lack of electricity.
Bàbá, ṣé ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún dá wàhálà mi lẹ̀ because mo lè sọ pé wàhálà lélẹ̀. Ṣé lack of electricity ni àbí ìgbà tó ń fẹ́ ṣe electricity yẹn ó yẹ kó gbé fún ẹni tó lè ṣe but wọn ní gbé fún ẹni tó lè ṣe because there was a program tí mo gbọ́ lẹ́ni tí bàbá Adébóyè tó lọ ask for his money back. Wọ́n ṣe ọ̀nà kan ọ̀nà tí wọ́n ṣe yẹn ọ̀nà government ni unknowing to them pé government ti gbé ọ̀nà yẹn fún company kan láti ṣe tẹ́tẹ́lẹ̀ so the company náà gbé ọ̀nà yẹn fún wa ṣe ọ̀nà yẹn àwọn èèyàn wá lọ cry bá bàbá Adébóyè pé wọ́n ṣe ọ̀nà yìí bàbá Adébóyè now did the road on completion of the road àwọn tí wọ́n gbé ọ̀nà fún tẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ wọ́n lọ sí ministry padà wọ́n lọ gba certificate of completion kán lè gba owó pé àwọn ti ṣe ọ̀nà yẹn àṣírí wá tú ṣe bàbá Adébóyè now said I want my money back because you've paid the people who didn't do anything.
Say anybody, I have example of a road in a local area, about 56 miles of road that was never touched, and then there was a certificate of completion paid to somebody. It was never touched, and because there is no inspection, because the whole country has dissolved, even right from 1916. But you see, Awolowo no knew Kobiarasi. The day Awolowo was not formally invited to the lowering of the flag, that country died. We've just been packing up, all because of excessive oil money. And Oloibiri, that's another thing. I think I was sending some of the this thing on Oloibiri to some people. Oloibiri now has a plinth that was set up as a foundation stone for petroleum training industry institute that has never been built since the foundation was put there almost 30 or 40 years ago. All because the governor said it cannot be built there, and then we keep quiet. It's there. Even Obasanjo said it in one of his speeches during his presidency. It's there. The place is still a mess. I attended a conference in 1996 at the Cambridge University, where the documents are thereby. Of course, these are some of the things I'm going to package to put in a audio, so that people will know exactly what I'm talking about. That conference, the representative of Shell came and said, "Look, we have tried our best to help the country. Each time we try, the
bàbá ṣé ká gbé pè yìí ṣé ká gbé ẹni tó ń pè ká wo nǹkan tó ń fẹ́ wọ́n ti lọ ìpín ti lọ. Even though I don't want the calls to come in yet, because tí a bá jẹ́ kí a sọ̀rọ̀ yìí dáadáa tí pé bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wọlé a ní lè sọ, so ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ yìí débì kan, tá a bá sọ débì kan, then we might now decide to open the line pé kéèyàn ara lè kẹ́ bá wa dá sí i, because we need to start recalibrating our brains, our heads, because tá a bá dé Odùduwà land yẹn ẹni tó bá lè ṣe nìkan máa gbéṣẹ́ fún, ẹni tó bá lè ṣe ipò politics yẹn nìkan nìkan vote síbẹ̀, tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ vote wọn síbẹ̀ within a short time tí wọ́n bá deliver, let people spring up and ask them to be removed, because we can't keep living like this.
And that's where I looked at the format, whereby our education should be geared towards development. Our curriculum should be what I'll call a speed track, which will involve learning from cradle, learning basic science and technology and history for purpose of storing information of the process of which we are going from one state to the other. And one thing that many people don't understand when we talk about culture, culture is not just dancing. Culture is your way of life, the standard at which you have got up to, the improvement you have made, and which is in the innovation. That's culture. It's not just dancing and making your baby kakorin. It's deeper than that. That's one thing I want to share with you. is deeper. Culture is learning, telling people how you have prepared this food, and then how you can improve on top of it and make it an international cuisine. That's the involvement of your culture. Our food culture is so. Our transport culture, you see, the pride. Why do we forget this? Bóyá tó ṣe ìbò ni, because mo mọ̀ pé àwọn bàbá wa wọ́n mọ̀ ṣebí láyé àtijọ́ almost every town village wọ́n ní àwọn goldsmith àtàwọn alágbẹ̀dẹ lórin gbangidigban.
Yes.
Bellows, and they shaped a lot of things. I know. Where are those things now? We were not buying gold and all that. Very few people were buying gold and all that things from overseas. They were made locally. Tọ́dún bá ń bọ̀ ẹ̀ kàn rí pé bóyá pàtàkì àwọn ìyá wa láti lọ àwọn lọ sọ́dọ̀ goldsmith irú báyìí làwọn fẹ́ kàn ṣe fún àwọn. And then they make it.
Yes.
Where now? That's employment. Oh. And in making it, gradually they will have engaged the format to the level of using electricity and new technology and improving on it. And now I still wonder why because I told some of our engineers, why can't you sit down and reformat how to weave our shirts?
It's been done. Kókó ni manual tó ń fi ṣe tó máa ń jù síra wọn tó máa ń jù sí tó máa wọlé tó máa jáde.
And teach people inside, because if you don't take time, the Chinese are going to start making of it and selling to us. Is that what you want?
Baba, ṣé mo pé Chinese ti ń ṣe àdìrẹ sà? Chinese ti ń ṣe àdìrẹ.
Have you?
Yes, because
the knowledge is been taken from us.
Yeah,
it's not that we cannot. There's
so much
we can do. So mo ń bèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹnìkan tí ní ilé tí wọ́n sọ pé òun ò lè lọ sóko. Only for God's sake. Money in London here, some of ṣé mo ní èmi mo lóko ní London bíbá ní mo ní allotment. There are engineers, geologists, medical doctors, professors in our allotment in
London here, yes.
In Canary Wharf, there's a big aginjù nínú Canary Wharf kí lo orúkọ yẹn nínú aginjù kan wà ńbẹ̀ oko ló wà ńbẹ̀ táwọn èèyàn lọ tán bá ti kúrò níbi iṣẹ́ wá kàn ju jacket wọn tàbí tie wọn jọ dànù wọn lọ sóko nìyẹn. I don't know human beings àwọn ti wà nílé for God's sake. The pleasure of walking on the land is what is called living. It's what is called life, because you are part of the land. You are going to end back into the land. Why don't you appreciate power? Allah, it's in us. Electricity. That's innovation. Using white medicine, and we even improve on it. It's not only the rivers, we can also, there is a place, there are some mountains where we have rivers flowing from the top. All you need to do is to gather the water into some pond and allow it to flow through a pipe. At the bottom, you put your turbine and electricity. Free energy. There are so many all over the place in Yoruba land. I've been to a lot of them. Okay, when waterworks, mo rí tán kọ́ ahéré kan síbẹ̀ by kíní wọ́n á gbé signboard kan tourist attraction. Rubbish. That was Osun State this
tourist board.
Tourist board. Something that you could
employment opportunity.
I went to Edinburgh to train under some high professional professors in hydrology and dam building, particularly in the areas of mini distant dams. I'm a member of, sorry, I'll have to say it, I'm a member of the British Hydroelectric Power Association. But I've contributed some into the knowledge. And my attempt now, because some of the professors said, if you want, we can follow you to your country. I said, not Nigeria. Then they looked at me and said, you know, I'm always very clear about it. It's going to be Western region if we are still remaining in Nigeria. So that I brought a map. We have rapid flow of rivers from the Yoruba hills and Kukuruku hills down into the sea. And they provide us with the Osun, the Ose, Pemeji, the Ogun, Oyo, and all of that rivers, and the minor rivers. They are all energy producing rivers.
Yes.
In our, and most of them, the white men have dammed them for water supply into the towns before they left. When they left, we did not expand these water supplies. We rather abandoned them. Diesel normal. So why can't you see that you can make the water generate its own electricity by sticking a mini hydro power unit into it? They've even Machendise was already having a hydro power thing installed before the federal government told them to stop it. Most people in Ibadan know this. It's not fake. Even the water, each time I pass by, I just look at wasted energy.
Bàbá, jẹ́ kí n béèrè kíní kan lọ́wọ́ yín kẹ́ tó máa lọ, kẹ́ tó sọ̀rọ̀ síwájú. Nígbà táwọn wà ní kékeré, nígbà táwọn ṣe àṣejìrẹ́ yẹn, tẹ́ bá ṣí tap yín, the tap will be shaking because of the force tó mú ẹ̀fín jáde.
Yeah.
The water will be cloudy because it was being forced, pipe proof by force. So the water is there.
And there was, even if you remember, if you travel back down on the road to Machendise, you find that a lot of water is gushing out from the spillway every day. This is wasted energy. Even if you don't put this in there, I've located certain locations along the downstream of Machendise where dams, another mini dam can be built and generate electricity and provide irrigation waters. And another one below. At least on that river, you can have at least 8 to 10. There's so much force. And then again, which one of my friends was saying, if it is silting up, because river flowing and it's carrying silt, very fertile silt, what you need to do is to drag it and spread it on the farmland and cultivate it with it. Food comes, fresh foods and vegetables. We have everything, but we are not seeing it. Very simple. We have everything. Just get the silt. That's what is done in almost all dams. You desilt the dams. Take the silt. Some of it you could use in clay brick manufacture, of which I have gone to East Africa to learn at cheap rate. If I set up, I can manufacture clay brick at the rate of 50 naira a brick at current price. Not difficult. It's a combination of agriculture and housing. Planting rice, harvesting the rice, processing the rice, getting the rice husk, and rice husk has a high value that will be used to, you don't mix it with the clay, you use it to bond the clay to be strong like this. If you go to Bradford in Britain here, one of the centers of brick making, they use electricity and gas. But in my own case, I believe we could use our agriculture. Of course, not believe. It's been done in East Africa, northwest Tanzania, in Misungwi, near the Mwanza region, by Lake Victoria. If you see the houses of farmers in those areas, you say, because they are beautifully made from clay brick that was cheaply made, high grade quality. It's not something that is beyond us. And as a result, I sent one of our colleagues when we were working there to Nigeria. Then he said he located a rice producing area in Benue State. He went there to try to tell them of the technology. You know what he was told by the officers who were working? What is the need from us? So he just packed his things and went back to East Africa. When I'm Africa. And that's why the same thing I was telling Aregbesola. Well, all I hear is that I am not cooperative. No, what cooperative? Did you give me a resume of how to start? I showed you everything that we can capable of doing to change it. In fact, my friend also, Professor Aino, told one of the governors in those states to reopen the clay brick factory that the white men left behind. The white men left a lot of developmental nodules down for us. We abandoned them. Even in Ibadan there's a mini in the Ministry of Agriculture, a mini laboratory for making poultry vaccines. It was abandoned in Jakari Olobo. One young man from that Ibadan, when he got employed, he did veterinary science, and then he saw the laboratory, decided to reopen it with its own energy and some other staff. They cleaned up the place, they set it up, got some spare parts from the University of Ibadan, set up and did a test run of manufacturing. He found that what he was manufacturing was equivalent to what was on the international market. He went to tell his boss, and I'm telling you this because these are factual things. Those of them who are listening should remember. They know what I'm talking about. Why did we kill ourselves? Don't tell a young man off. He had first class in veterinary science. So don't decide where. Nígbà tó ń bá fẹ́ òun practically jẹ́ kó òun kúkú padà sí university kó òun lọ ṣe PhD university kó òun máa lecture nígbà tó òun ò ní òun lò. He was so eager.
Wow.
There's a lot. There's so much. School of Agriculture, for it to function, it had electricity. It died because there was no electricity. And School of Agriculture was one of the best in the world as at the time. With all the research. And then the crane, the Onireke, the Ele, forestry and all that. Where are they now? More plantation. They worked because there was electricity. Without electricity, you cannot grow.
I remember more plantation very well, sir. Because more plantation, we used to go there to play. Vast area. But the road there is an avenue because trees were planted on both sides of the road. Big. More plantation from Odono River next to St. Paul's down to Queen's School. About 2 miles on that road is more plantation. And it goes down in to Adabeji. People that knows this area will know what I'm talking about. Maybe about 4 or 5 miles down in.
And also, the University of Ibadan, there's a dam there. That dam could be re-engineered, what you call restore hydro. That's one of the things I learned. Is a policy in Europe and Britain. They are restoring all hydro. What they mean by that, every water works that was made in the past, whether water wheel, they are restoring it to generate energy. What is our own doing? We abandon them. Shejire is like an abandoned property. I don't even know. Even before I left Ibadan, there were times during the era of Bola Ige, they were saying, àwọn ò rí diesel láti power. I was almost laughing at the way that place that should be powering itself and providing electricity for the whole area there. I was a diesel láti pump omi sí Ìbàdàn.
Baba, it's all come down to the fact that the people that can do it, they will not allow them to do it. It's all come down to that.
That's what I saw. I moved in the midst of all these big men, but I was not one of them. But I was with them.
You refuse to be one of them, sir. It's a shame. It's a shame.
There I went to the ministry and I went upstairs. It's electricity also that is used to do the fractionalization of epo pupa tó ń sọ di òróró. Ìgbà yẹn, some of you will remember tí kò sépo ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n lọ kó epo wá láti Malaysia. No, Malaysia àti Ghana yẹn kéré torí wọn ní púpọ̀ wọn ti sáàbù ara wọn tán. Wọ́n kó wá àwọn 5 litre this thing láwọn yẹn round this thing beautifully made in Malaysia. Something that should have been made in our land. Àwọn yẹn wọ́n ìgbà tí wọ́n á jókòó ti commissioner yẹn dẹ́rùkọ ẹ̀ làbá sọ̀rọ̀. Okay, unfortunately I was using an advantage of pé mo mọ̀ láti get allocation epo, but I was not at the same time happy about it. But if I don't do it, I will not get epo with me and my wife to cook at least for the period. Mo á jókòó tí mo ní ṣe mọ̀ pé epo kíní òróró yìí mo ní is bleached palm oil. Ó ní rọ́ọ̀nì mo ní sọ fún ọmọ. Yes, it is. And it's simple. It's just fractionalization. They brought it up, and then money was saleh palm oil product made from palm oil. It's safe to eat because the process it goes through some filtration and all that to bleach the redness out. I saw the kidney golden color. Is there? Are you shocked? The commissioner said, Lexi ló wá pè mí. Lexi, gbogbo nǹkan ló fẹ́ bá fi hàn mí tọ́mọ ní à. No, ó ní mo kàn fẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ ní pé gbogbo àwọn igi ọ̀pẹ wa tó wà nígbó a lè bẹ̀ sí organize ẹ̀. Car náà ní factory can bẹ̀ sí ṣe the same thing instead of buying from Malaysia. After all, ọ̀dọ̀ wa náà ti mú sí ìdí lọ. Àbí? But nothing was done. Also after me, he didn't make any proposal. This is what I expect them to do when I talk to some of them in government. Make a proposal. Put things down that this is what. If you are in doubt, invite the person who has given, but no one invited me.
Baba, ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ kíní kan fún yín sir. Somebody on the line, Williams Adedoshu. One of the reasons we're doing this program is to awake our people, you few that are here, to educate us, including myself, that there are some few things we need to face squarely. And what are those things? Number one, when we get our own nation, when we finally separate the chaff from the seeds, when we get there, there's something that everybody must do. Every one of us We must stand up for justice together. We must do what? Stand up for justice together. That's number one. Number two, you must not be afraid to speak the truth. Let the truth be your watchtower. Because without that, we cannot achieve what we're supposed to achieve. We will be back in square one within a very short time.
And that's one thing. Look at it. You see, you really have said it. Look at here in Britain. Look at the critics the arm of government receives. It used to inform them to improve on what they are doing. They don't go about arresting the people who are criticizing them and putting them in jail, which is the in thing in Africa, not only Nigeria. It's the in thing in Africa, and because they have not opened their eyes to the future.
Yes. And another thing I want to say before I bring Baba back on is this. We must do something that is very critical. If you know they've awarded a contract to somebody who couldn't do it, you must make noise at all cost about it. Because I remember in Olaji Baba, I'm going to take you back to this one. When Olaji used to build road, they would take wretched caterpillar to the road that they gave them to build. And caterpillar tí ó lè ṣiṣẹ́, bóyá ó dìídì ra caterpillar yẹn wá, táwọn kékeré lè ṣiṣẹ́ ni, ibẹ̀ ni caterpillar yẹn máa bàjẹ́ sí, ewé máa wù síbẹ̀. Yes. And they won't do the road. And so many people refuse to talk. This is what we must do. We must make sure. People think British and Fulani destroy Yoruba progress. No. Some of it we destroyed ourselves.
And that's it. That's what I've been saying.
And we're still doing it. Up till today. Up till now. Some people will bastardize other people's projects and take it over. They are not the visionary of that project. How can you take over another person's project and think it will work? You're not the owner of the project. When we started, when they started this YWC earlier on, Baba, if it wasn't bastardized, maybe we would have gone far by now. Because you were there before me when you guys started. But because they stole it from the people who were doing it, it becomes an issue. Every project that somebody is doing.
If I may want to chip
Correct.
in here.
Okay, please.
That arm of history should be documented. It's a learning curve for every one of us. But the main thing I want us to look at is that the denial of electricity to us was to destroy our destiny. And to that, somebody to destroy our progress. And that started from immediately Kanji Dam came on stream and Ijora Power Station was closed without any alternative. I asked one Elijah some years back, and then I asked her if she remembered when Ijora Power Station was closed, said 1969. Then I said that was the same year Kanji Dam came on stream with that mega 960 megawatts. A visionary country, which we are not, think that 960 megawatts will be the foundation for industrial growth, that will employ the thousands of young men and women that were rolling out from schools year in, year out, which was the question I asked go on in 1996 Cambridge conference. That are we going to put money? I turned to Yoruba. I said, are we going to put them? See, come out. Then I translated. I said, are we going to hang them somewhere? And then the new bunch will come and get hanged there. And you now have, there's a plea of them. Now some of them are walking the desert. It's the saddest story of our people, of the African. Walk in the desert to escape from their own homeland, a bounteous land that is mismanaged by visionless people. To me, the corruption is not the issue.
Okay.
It's not. I even believe if you want to carry the central bank, carry and put it in your backyard. But one thing is the planning for the future of the people you are ruling. And if you refuse to plan it, let everybody go somewhere and let them start all over. Repioneer their land. Repioneer their land. And to start all over. It is not difficult. After all, in those days, okay, an example. If there was no electricity, all the fresh fruits and vegetables that were produced on daily basis and transported by railway dogo, which branches away from to the left, and the rest of the railway goes to Abeokuta. When they bring these fruits and everything, they were stored in refrigerated electricity and then distributed in the markets, Jankara, Sangros, and everywhere. Where is it now? The wretched, dirty things that we are taking from the north, you don't even know whether it is poisoned. I'm sorry, I have to use that because I understand there was space of poisoned beans in our land that a lot of people died. Did that not inform us that we are endangering ourselves? When we can even ní ayé àtijọ́ lẹ́yìn ìgbàlùwẹ̀ tó wà níta, people plant tomato.
Yes, tomato.
What is wrong with us? Akọ̀wọ̀ là ń ṣe torí pé àwọ̀ ṣọ́tọ̀ àbí kíní àbí. Sometimes when I used to travel those days on the roads doing my search, tí máa dé ibi tí àwọn ọlọ́jà wà ní pàtàkì ní Ifẹ̀ pẹ̀lú aṣọ tí mo wọ̀ máa jókòó lórí ebè pẹ̀lú ọ ní ọ̀gá ẹ máa jókòó mo ní ṣé aṣọ ló dáa ju ara mi lọ ní. Tí bá délé màá fọ̀ kí ni kàn mí níyàn ẹyin lójọ́ lójú aṣọ lásán ni. Wọ́n bá wọn ṣeré máa ra nǹkan wọn ní àárín wọn ẹbí ìtẹ̀sẹ̀ bá wọn dúró pé kí má san owó ní no ọjà yìí ẹ̀ ń tọ́jà ni I have to pay. I love what you are doing. Ẹ má fún mi lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. I've had opportunities of that. Even ẹran ọ̀gbẹ̀ wọn ni ẹ máa gbé lọ ní I have to pay. The fact pé mo yọ̀ mọ́ yín ẹ̀yin náà yọ̀ mọ́ mi. That joy is enough that I know that you feel valued. Torí mo ti rí àwọn ibì kan láyé ìgbà tí mọ́tò ti wà tí tẹ́ pé tó bá tẹ bọ́tìn nínú mọ́tò búùtù àṣì.
Yes. Àbí tó bá tẹ bọ́tìn níwájú oní bọ́ọ̀sì tó bá tẹ bọ́tìn níwájú ilẹ̀kùn bọ́ọ̀sì máa ṣí.
Ìyẹn àwọn ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ ni mo ń sọ yìí saloon. So woman ní ìjọ kan mo tẹ̀ tó kú mi ò tí débẹ̀ ńgbà tí kíní ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ but àwọn women wá sọ fún mi wọ́n láwọn ṣe fún àwọn kan ní lónìí mo ní kí lè ṣe wọ́n ní ẹni ẹ dé ọkọ̀ ẹ̀ park sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ tó yàrá sọ pé èèlẹ̀ ni ẹ̀ ń ta iṣu tó wà ń bẹ lẹ́yìn kò jáde nínú mọ́tò wọ́n sọ pé 10 naira ní ṣàǹkó nǹkan wọ́n gbà yẹn 10 naira ní máa àìbáńkó ilé mẹ́ta sínú boot. Wọ́n jáde o wọ́n tẹ bọ́tìn boot sí àwọn ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ wọ́n gbé ilé mẹ́ta wọ́n fi ẹyọ iṣu kan lọ fi sínú boot wọ́n pàdé wọ́n drive lọ wọ́n gbowó lọ́wọ́ ní olùsì ẹ lè jáde bí ènìyàn ẹ̀ kà wá séèyàn ẹyọ iṣu kan lọ ní boot wọ́n láwọn ọmọ ṣe tọwọ́ délé kọ́ wọ́n pé next time tó bá fẹ́ ra ọjà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó máa jáde bá ọlọ́jà sọ̀rọ̀ ni tí ọlọ́jà bá wà ńbẹ̀. Èwo ni èèlò ni. You see, these are some of the stupid things we have been doing to ourselves. Or my friend who was telling the wife not to cook our beans for his children, beg with some money. If you are buying baked beans, it means our farmer who is planting the beans will not be able to plant because you are not buying his own beans. That's my own outlook to such things. We should, and that's why the theory of this thing, Adam Smith's theory of comparative advantage, I don't believe in it. Will I sit down, somebody go and be planting yam for me when I have land to plant my yam? No. You see, there are so many things we have gone. That's the question we have not, most of us don't ask ourselves. Báwo mo ṣe débí? Báwo mo ṣe jẹ́? And if we can answer those questions, our black race will start to move rapidly into the future.
Okay, Baba, let's take some calls. Let's take some calls and see what happens. Ejeba, you can hear still laying there. Ṣé fẹ́ dá sí ètò ni? Hello. Ṣé fẹ́ dá sí ètò wa ni àbí?
Mo fẹ́ dá sí ètò ni.
Ó yẹ gbóhùn sókè. Orúkọ yẹn àti ibi tẹ́ ti ń pèsè.
Okay, orúkọ tí ni Bashiru Anjola ya ni.
Okay.
Mo kí bàbá wa Ọlọ́run á fi ìmọ̀ kún mọ́ wọn.
Àmín.
Mr. Adeoda pé èmi ti pẹ̀lú ti sọ̀rọ̀ pé because àwa tá wà ní diaspora àwa nìkan la lè rescue Nigeria ní situation tó wà. Reason why ni pé kò sí middle class ní Nigeria. Ìṣẹ́dá àwọn tó ti store lówó yẹn tó wà lókè tó fẹ́ kí Nigeria máa rí bó ṣe ń rí àtàwọn tó ti fìyà jẹ. The only way that they fi ṣé náà dẹ̀ wá ni pé we are not talking to the right people. Àwọn tó yẹ ká talk to ni pé àwọn ọmọ wa tó kéré because majority àwọn tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí àtẹ̀mí àtẹ̀yìn àti bàbá minority ni wa. The 75% of the Nigerian youth, especially Yoruba youth, they are from 1 to 35. Even from 1 to 22, 1999, 53%. Àwọn ọmọ tó wà ní tó bí 1999 ni. At least now to be practical, why can't kọ bẹ̀ láti university tó wà mí báyìí gangan? Àwọn èèyàn náà organize ara wọn because mo láwọn tó lè lọ university mi báyìí tó ní unions àti Nigeria. Why tí bàbá ò ní àbí ká tí wáyọ̀ kan láti lọ educate àwọn ọmọ yẹn because most of the education Nigeria is receiving only education láti enrich ara wọn it's not education to build a nation. There's a difference between each. Nísìnyí opportunity fún àwọn ọmọ yẹn education tó ń ní báyìí they can build a nation. How can they go back and build our own nation? This is another one. So yẹn ló yẹ ká ṣe. Another thing ni pé economic empowerment agbọ́dọ̀ wà because tábà gba independence wa politically tábà empower ara wa economically it's going to be very difficult. Ẹ̀rù kan tó ń bà mí ẹ wo bu àwọn yìí bò sìn ẹ wo àwọn bàbá wa ló ń ta òkú tẹ́lẹ̀ pharmacies àwọn bàbá wa ló ń ta pé kìnìún nísìnyí gbogbo èyí bò ló ti ń ṣe báwo ló ṣe máa padà sódò àwọn àjòpá táwọn àdọ́dá ti ó yẹ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wa organize ara wa níta ipò yìí fi £10,000 àwa náà wà lè kádà ni we can go from all these areas and start doing it kò sáwọn tó kó jẹ ti kó jẹ àwa náà la lè padà láti lọ rí pa ẹ̀sẹ̀ sílẹ̀ ìyẹn lórí ẹyọ kan another thing on spiritually ẹ rí i pé mo jáde ìròyìn ní last one tí bàbá sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní bàbá ìjẹ́ mọ́ ìkó tó wà láàrin Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àfa àkọ́ tó wà ní Kaula tó ń jẹ́ Ibrahim Diaz tó náà bàbá mọ̀ bẹ̀ wọ́n lọ sí àjò kan lórí Nàìjíríà dáàbà wọn lè tiẹ̀ àwọn bàbá yẹn tó wà ń bẹ̀ every 2 years wọ́n wà sí Nàìjíríà láti wá máa rí ní ìwé kìíní yẹn ipò tàbá ìwò tàbá parí ọdún àwẹ̀ tá à ń ṣe ń sìn by the second of about 14 or 15 ẹni tó wà ń bẹ̀ léde tó rẹ̀ di Kaula ó ń lọ sí Nàìjíríà lórí àjò burúkú dẹ̀ ni mọ̀dákẹ́ náà wọ bàbá another thing fẹ́ kókó àṣẹ ni pé ó yẹ ká wà ní WhatsApp because mo ti fọ́ọ̀mù ìlànà òtún àgbẹ̀ kan ṣe WhatsApp ó yẹ kí bàbá náà wà bẹ̀ ká di educate ara wa lórí ibẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe as a close society it's a movement it's not a society everybody should be involved oníkálùkù á lè contribute ara ẹ̀ pé kínní afẹ́jọ́ ìlànà ọmọdé àti oníkàbà tó lọ́wọ́ reference bíi méjì for what tí gbogbo afẹ́ contribute sí so you are taking somebody out bàbá olóhùn apẹ́ fún wa o ìmọ̀ yín ò ní dọ́gba ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ kó wá jìnnà pé and I want you to be a rally point here káwọn náà leading àti níbà àti diaspora because that's the only way we can function ìwọ̀nba la tó wà nílé ṣe o alágbọ́dọ̀ organize àwọn abíbà láti liberate àwọn people wa ẹ ṣe gan bàbá ìbá gbàsíkò tó rà wẹ́ lómi wáyé bá ṣètò wa tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ ẹ ṣe.
ẹ jẹ́ kí n dá sọ̀rọ̀
ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn fún wọn. Bóyá ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ yín bàbá ẹ dá sí.
Mo ti ń try láti jẹ́ kí n ní opportunity láti sọ̀rọ̀ ní Oxford Union. And then using the platform of the Chatham House, of which I'm a partial member, I want to complete my final registration. I'm always invited to some of their conferences. And my position is always different from what they expect. That's why they keep on making sure they tell me all the listen. Because there's a scenario that I have played with some of the people in Chatham House. Okay, what if it was the African that came to Europe and created some new nations, and that a Yoruba man came and then he saw some very good land, and with one of these big rivers flowing through it, and he names it in his own language. I'm talking about River Rhine. Then gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní àyíká bẹ̀yẹn kó pè wọ́n ní Ajébándélé. And inside Ajébándélé, you now find that there are Germans, Italians, and French. How would that work? That was the question I posed to the officer in Chatham House some 2 years ago. They said it will never work. Then I said, then why do you expect it to work? Because Nigeria is the same picture of what I just painted. Somebody came and just drew a line around. I saw a river and called it River Niger. The Yorubas call it Oya. Abi?
Yes.
The black man comes to Europe to create that similar thing and saw your river run and calls it Odoye. You see, we need, the dialectics and narrative using the white man has to be clear so that we can win this battle. This battle of construction is the battle of understanding the real truth behind the truth. That's one thing. And that's why I have over and over proved that Nigeria should not have existed in the first place. Because tó ìbò bá wá sáàrin wa, báwo ni baálẹ̀ kan ṣe máa kọjá odò Ọya sókè lọ́rùn kó sọ pé ẹ̀yin ará bí ẹjọ́ jẹ́ ká ìjọ ṣèlú pọ̀. Ṣé wọ́n máa gbọ́ ni? Wọ́n á ní ìpèrè wo leléyìí? Gòjé wọn náà máa gbé jáde tán máa fi ilé ẹ̀ padà yẹn tán bá gbórí olówó ẹ̀ tán máa gbé sínú òkùnkùn pé kí ẹnìkan tó wà láàrin wọn kó lọ gbé han ọba wọn nísàlẹ̀ lọ ìyẹn tán bá jù sókè. Or like some of the white explorers just disappeared in the forest of Africa with no knowledge of where they went off. I think it was Richard Lander too could not be found. The same thing could happen to a Yoruba man who speaking Yoruba goes to the Hausa land to say he wants us to be the same country. Èdè will come. And that's one of the key things. The Yoruba World Institute is developing the system of using Yoruba language in higher education, and then translating and importing and reformatting words that we cannot find a Yoruba proper name for, like engine. We still call it engine or ẹ̀rọ. But a lot of more iṣẹ́ ní ẹni bí àwọn tó ń ṣe tó ń túmọ̀ tó ṣe. Wọ́n pe kíní kan ní kòkòdì tí master bá sọ pé lọ gbé lọ yí kòkòdì mọ́tì ẹ̀ wá wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ kòkòdì. And you know what it is? Or apá mọ́tò, the wishbone in the front. Oh, we write all this down, document. It's being done already. I happen to be a member, part of the assessors, those who admit people into it. And it's on Facebook. Because Yoruba words.
Bàbá ẹ jẹ́ ká gba kọ́ọ̀lù ilé náà wọlé, ẹ jẹ́ ká gba ẹni tó pè wọlé. Ẹ jọ ẹgbẹ́ òsókè ẹ ti wà lórí kan náà. Ẹ kálẹ́ bàbá wa.
Ẹ ṣeun wa. Ẹ jọ mo fẹ́ béèrè ìbéèrè kan náà dájú, and that is that ẹ jọ is there a way tí a ṣe lè ṣe debate, because ó dà pé almost gbogbo Yorùbá á ti mọ̀ pa ní problem, and we all identify pé Nigeria the problem, but it's like we are having a fear of what action should we take. Now, culture wa ó ti subject our ọmọdé sí spectators while àwọn àgbàlagbà wa, àwọn ẹni leaders, because even you see Afenifere with all the àgbàlagbas in their 90s still being leaders and still telling us that this is where we have to go. Whereas àwọn tó jẹ́ future leaders, àwọn kan wò pé no, that is not the right path. So how can we get these two school of thought to come together into one room and argue this thing out? Just as Mugwala in foreign countries, the same, and we've been able to read about how they came to be, got to where they are right now. But what I'm saying, wọ́n argue ẹni Adam Smith dé pẹ̀lú theory tiẹ̀, Keynes gbé tiẹ̀ jáde, and on and on and on, and here they are today. How can we bring this school of thought together? That is, our Afenifere, the representative of Afenifere should come out and argue for this issue of restructuring, where the other people, our agitators, will have their own representatives to argue it out for everybody to listen to, so that we all have the same information and we can all move together and decide together. Second thing, February, and that is that how can we get our elders to understand that they cannot always keep feeding us? There are times, I don't know, but our elders, they don't want to leave Oko, they don't want to give us Oko. Even they are really even willing to start competing with us with the few Oko available in the community. The problem was, we still talk about Awolowo, and everybody who during Awolowo time are still there today, and they don't want to even retire and say that I first serve as an advisor for you. They want to be the shot maker. The shot caller. How can we solve this? Because long-term problem, see how that you about a lot on. Okay, our time that by add culture is about passes. You want that about injectors. You want I know about my people now more. Then our okay, what is going on? That is my question. Thank you.
I
seem to have an answer to it. First of all, the Afenifere, we confronted them way back in 1990s, and they ran out of the hall because they did not want to hear the truth. One of them, when I'm talking directly to all of them that I know. Like I told you earlier, I've walked in the corridors of power with them, but I'm not part of them. They know I talk. I don't fear anyone. The first time I met one of my great benefactors, I told him, I've come to tell you the truth. I've not come to beg you for money. I don't need it. But the future of our race is in danger if you don't start up now. I know you like to see me, but seeing me, I will not hide away from the truth. That man respects me somehow, I would say. He even sponsored some of my trips to East Africa. If you are afraid to talk to them, it's our fault. Because ọmọ Yorùbá ń ṣojo. Èèyàn téèyàn bá fẹ́ bá gbà sọ̀rọ̀ ò níbo wàá fi ọgbọ́n tọ́lọ́run lódùmarè fún ẹ láti gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ jáde láti máa sọ. Ìjọ́ tí mo bá bàbá yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ jẹ́ yẹn wọ́n jókòó. Ṣé wọ́n wá níjọ́ yẹn wọ́n tún jẹ́ kí ni wọ́n sọ gbogbo ìgbà tó bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ tán wọ́n jókòó wọ́n reflect. We should not be afraid. The same thing. I'm just looking to get Adebanjo's number, or even call on for Odumaki. I wanted to tell him that why do you want to use a broomstick to cover the truth? And fi igi ìgbálẹ̀ kan bojú kan sọ pé àárí mi wọn ò rí mi, and that's what a lot of our people are doing. And we have to do that. We have to take it out of their hands and tell them that you are not hidden. We can talk to you. But we have stopped being misled. These are the facts. Why will you sit down? Why would they all sit down and see Lagos being destroyed and they don't keep quiet? All they do is to work and get money to buy large generators. Why? Or they get money to pay for a very deep borehole. Why? When the Oyo Dam is there to provide water to the whole of Lagos. Because some of us keep quiet. I've challenged the governors, this thing, but they couldn't give me an answer. But because I'm not from that state, I believe I belong to all states of Yoruba land, because they are destroying the land space for which I'm born. We should not be afraid. And again, to talk to our Odowanle, we need to use this media to either get things into audio form and send it on through whatever means, particularly the internet, the YouTube, and past, include some, like I said, include some graphics and some Yoruba songs. Like there was a film I watched the other day, because I keep on exploring the possibilities of using our songs. There was this beautiful song that was made in that was the background to an English film, Olurumbi's song. It was beautifully rendered. When you hear it and then you now start to hear certain information, or the Ojurere at Mimimo, all those type being infused into the discussion on the future of the Yoruba race, that if we attain the Yoruba race, these are the process for which we are going to now start to live like human beings properly, because we are not living like human beings now. That's a fact. How can somebody be sick in our land and not, because he doesn't have money, just dies like that? That's the greatest shame. That's the greatest shame a race should bear in its midst. There are many, many people. Owu, wàhálà ti rà lọ hospital. Why? Wọ́n ti ń ṣe kíni ẹ̀ kí tó kúrò Nàìjíríà in the 80s. Abẹ́rẹ́ wà tún rà.
Bàbá àti ní ìpè mi sà, àti ní ìpè mi, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé pé bàbá tó wà lórí fóònù. Bàbá wa ẹgbẹ́ òsókè ẹ béèrè ìbéèrè náà bàbá.
Ok, mo lè fẹ́ kí wọ́n lẹ́yìn.
Ẹ ṣe.
Ó yá ẹgbẹ́ òsókè náà. Ẹni wọ́n gbọ́ yín.
Ok, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Bàbá Àjàlá.
Mo ń gbọ́
ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ lè yá mi lórúkọ yín kébì náà máa jẹ. Kí máa jẹ́ Bọ́láńlé Àjàlá.
Mo yọjá. Bàbá kan sí ìyẹn ló dáa.
Ẹ ṣe gan-an, ẹ kú iṣẹ́, ẹ kú àtàrọ̀.
Ká ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀, ká bá àwọn ọmọdé, mo ti sọ láti ìjọba lẹ́nu.
ṣe rí gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀.
tí bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀.
ó yẹ continue.
ẹ continue ẹ ṣe.
wọ́n gbọ́ yín sà.
ń gbọ́.
mo rò pé wọ́n sì ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ ni.
wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ tán.
mo ti
ṣe rí àwọn méjì tí wọ́n béèrè question last year.
mo ń gbọ́. mo ń gbọ́.
ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ ìlọsàn àwọn ń gbọ́ yín ẹ má gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ yín gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ mi bí i.
mo tiẹ̀ ti pa. àwọn méjì tí wọ́n béèrè question last. òun ni mo fẹ́ try láti tún boost understanding wọn so that tó bá túbọ̀ yé wọn wọ́n á lè help láti pass the message around. therefore mo make analysis kan. ṣé ẹ rí ní abúlé kan in those days in the early 50s bàbá oníkòkó kankan wà tó jẹ́ pé bàbá yẹn roko ó dẹ̀ make owó in a big way. ó rán àwọn ọmọ lọ sí school universities àwọn tí mo sọ yìí àwọn bíi àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ ẹ̀gbọ́n bíi àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ìdọ̀bálẹ̀ la máa fi ń gbé fáwọn ọmọ kan náà ní gbogbo táìmù yẹn. so àwọn ọmọ tí wàá ló wọ́n ti rí ṣe ẹ̀ bàbá ti dàgbà ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ ti tẹ̀. ohun tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé ìgbà tó wá dé wọ́n kọ́lé tó dáa fún bàbá wọ́n ti bẹ́ẹ̀dì síbẹ̀ wọ́n ra mọ́tò wọ́n ra bàtà wọ́n ra gbogbo ẹ̀. ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé ní bí oṣù mẹ́ta lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó dé ilé tuntun tí bàbá yẹn bá sì fẹ́ sùn lálẹ́ ẹni rẹ̀ jọ sí tí mọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni ó tó gbé. wọ́n ní bàbá bẹ́ẹ̀dì wa ẹni náà ti dà. wọ́n ṣàpàṣẹ ìlú àgbà at the end of oṣù mẹ́ta bàbá náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí orí bẹ́ẹ̀dì. the next thing ni pé kí bàbá wa máa lọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì mọ́tò ti wà nílẹ̀ o dírẹ́fà dẹ̀ ti wà. gbára tí àwọn bá jí báyìí yóò ti gbọ̀nà ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yóò fẹ́ẹ́ dé ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tán kí dírẹ́fà tó fi mọ́tò lé pé bàbá mọ́tò ló yẹ kẹ́ ẹ gùn lọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì á ní pé ẹsẹ̀ yájú mọ́tò lọ orí bí mo ti dé nígbà yìí àti pé bóun ní ìfẹ́ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi lójú ọ̀nà láàjọ fẹsẹ̀ rìn lọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì together. so bàbá find it difficult láti wa mọ́tò. ó tún wá ń di táìmù Christmas bàtà ti wà tó ń ti rà fún bàbá lóríṣiríṣi àwọn bàtà pabú ayé ìjọ yẹn bàbá tó gbé jáde bàbá kérésì làwà ọdún ti dé bàtà tẹ́ ń wọ̀ yìí kò yẹ kẹ́ ọba mọ̀tọ̀ tó wà ní bàtà yìí ni. n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé hardship ó ti mọ́ bàbá lára ó ti wá di norms. ẹni tí ó wà change ẹ̀ tí ó gba gbogbo àwọn nǹkan lọ́wọ́ bàbá ó máa try. nǹkan tó ń ṣe àwọn àgbààgbà wa nìyẹn. ìgbà tí àwọn òyìnbó sọ pé àwọn ní ọ̀làjú dé wọ́n wá fọ́ wa lójú náà fọ́ wọn lójú ni wọ́n dẹ̀ pò wọn nùpọ̀. wọ́n wá ní pé kí wọ́n máa pò yìí bí ẹ ti ń pè ìrànlọ́rọ̀ yẹn irú olóyè yẹn náà ni wọ́n wà. ẹni tí ó wà síìlì wọn pé bàbá ẹ mọ́ pé òyì mọ́ ó máa múra. àwa ṣe títí kò bá mú. tẹ wá rí nǹkan táwọn bàbá yìí ò mọ̀ ni pé wọ́n ti gbàgbé ìlú bàtà. tí bàtà bá ń dún kì í ṣe olóbìnrin lé ní jó bàtà ọ̀rọ̀ Ṣàngó ni. àwọn Ṣàngó òun ni àwọn ìwé ìsìn tí wọ́n jáde tọ́lẹ̀ tí ń jáde báyìí. níbi ẹni mo fi rí àtìbá kan nígbà tí mo gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá Bánjọ tí wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ti fi oríṣiríṣi effort and everything láti jà takuntakun láti mú Nàìjíríà dúró pé kó wá fọ́ báyìí. wọ́n á béèrè pé bàbá 95 nìyí ìṣẹ́jú mélòó ló kù sí sàárè. àwọn Fúlàní dúró lórí ilẹ̀ yín wọ́n dẹ̀ ń di gàba lé yín lọ́wọ́ wọ́n ń tọ̀ sí yín lọ́wọ́ ní pé kẹ́ ẹ máa fẹ́ ra ojú. ìyẹn náà lẹ sì fẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ jogún tí wọ́n dẹ̀ jókòó sílẹ̀ nígbà tẹ́yìn bá lọ tán. èmi fẹ́ bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ pé bàbá ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé ìmọ̀tara ẹni nìkan nìyẹn.
ẹ jọ
àwọn ọmọ ẹ tó ní pé kí wọ́n lọ mọ̀ pé ibi ọwọ́ wọn máa fi ká wà nù kan lóríṣiríṣi. so kò lè possible wọ́n fẹ́ owó kọ́ àwọn ọmọ olù kọ̀ǹpútà dẹ̀ ló ti délẹ̀ yìí àwa ò ṣe sùúrù mọ́ tí Fúlàní bá ní agídí irọ́ wọn ń pa ọ̀rẹ́ ni fèsì wọn ni ìgbà tá a fèsì wọn lóṣù gbòǹjọ sí ṣé wọn ò sá àwọn ọmọ akọni ló délẹ̀ tí irú èmi tí mo jẹ́ ọmọ kékeré yìí ìṣẹ́jú méjì ló kù kí n fi wọ sẹ́fúntì mo sì ń pera mi lọ́mọdé mo dẹ̀ ti ń fọkàn sí pé outgoing ni mo jẹ́ àwa ń fayé lẹ̀ ni mi ò bá àwọn ọmọ mi argue àwọn náà take over everything ní ìsinmi ò bá wọn dá sí mọ́ bí wọn bá sọ ni mò ń tẹ̀lé how much more bàbá so táwọn èèyàn bá tí àwọn ìwé ìsinmi bá understand yẹ kí wọ́n má bẹ̀rù wọ́n á kàn present ọ̀rọ̀ wọn pẹ̀lú custody tí bàbá ọba fẹ́ gbọ́mọ ẹ fà á ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀dìsáyìn nǹkan fẹ́ máa ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ ṣe tí ìwé ẹ̀ bá yanjú tán wọ́n ṣẹ̀tù wọn ní sákúrò lù.
ok ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá àjàlá dá yín lóhùn ẹ máa lọ wọ́n dá yín lóhùn ṣọgbọ́n.
ẹ̀sán kan tẹ́ ẹ sọ nípa ti àwọn bàbá kínní mo máa ń gbọ́ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn pé ìlú táwọn jà fún láti dá dúró one thing they don't know tí bá reverse ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn àwọn ń gbé Nàìjíríà lárugẹ àwọn Fúlàní ń lo Nàìjíríà fún ara wọn kan tí ò yé wọn nìyẹn mo ti sọ fún àwọn bàbá kan ló wọn wá súnkì mo nígbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń struggle tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń pariwo unity Nigeria. No northerner introduces himself as a Nigerian. I'm telling you this fact. Torí mo ní lára àwọn lọ́rẹ̀. I've been in contact with them. Mi ò bínú sí wọn. All I'm saying is that we cannot work together. That's all. And that's what I told Adubairo when he sent his emissary to me. But lára àwọn irú bàbá àwọn Adébáyọ̀ pé àwọn jà láti retain Nigeria. Our Lord died mysteriously because he realized last that it was a futile effort trying to retain Nigeria. That's a fact. I respect that man. He was in love with humanity, regardless of where they come from, but it was a danger. It was a very grave danger. Very brilliant man, very spiritual, but he opened his mind. He should have opened his mind to see Ikene first. This is where I come from. And the people around me, who are they? He didn't do that. He just jumped across using the English language to talk about path to Nigerian freedom. It should have been path to Yoruba freedom. He did a great job for us. It's part of what made me what he did. Because in spite of the fact that my grandfather told me things and my father left a book, if there was not that free education, I would not have been able to go to school. So I always thank him every day for opening my eyes to the truth. And in that wise, I should not forget that he did not assure my future as a Yoruba person, because he allowed us to subsume and mortgage our future into a Nigeria so-called project that does not have the interest of the Yoruba race and its progress at heart. He's a great man. Even Churchill made his own mistakes that are even highly documented. There's no point in life to cover the weaknesses of a great man. When you do that, you are denying yourself a sense of history of atonement.
Baba, àti ní ìpè mi, sir.
Sorry, let me finish this. I really need to speak to my father. I will call him Adebanjo. This will be the third time I'm going to have a discussion with him. They should not tie themselves into the coupon that the country they fought to. No one fought for it. It was not even negotiated. If you look at the records, they only went to a meeting and there was no agreement among the three of them. There was no agreement. If you go to the records, I have them besides me here. I don't know if I can. Let me see. I just summarized it. There was no collective negotiation with all the people that attended the meeting. It was a piecemeal treaty of protection, stitching together and loosely parts to make a whole. And you call that a country? No, I don't accept it. We are the different people are better apart than being together, because each one will now face its own future, its own vision, its own approach to its own way of life. I said something some time ago. I don't deny it. Just looking at the different presidents when they do the inauguration. When Obasanjo was inaugurated, when he gets home after all the big English, ìjọba mú mi ṣe kí ni ọtí wo ló wà ńbẹ̀ yẹn àbí oúnjẹ wo lẹ ní ńbẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n padà sí ibi tán ti wá. The same thing with the Yaradua. Ìgbàlódé alákùbá àti ṣe wọ́n sọ èdè wọn kan. That still shows that we are not one. Why are we deceiving ourselves? There cannot be any unity. I see even go on trying pray Nigeria. What pray Nigeria? It's been on for how many years now? Why do we hide under a leaf that does not protect the future of the people that are trapped into this quagmire of a country? Just a mere trading post that it was put together in parts and that it's not supposed to even last. Starkey said that in 1930 when he was discussing with Lugard. And on the 1st of January, which was a Thursday, I tried to find out the exact date and the meaning of a Thursday, the beginning of our offering.
Okay, ẹ ṣé sà, mo dúpẹ́ o. Bàbá wa tó wà lórí ìkànnà, ẹgbọ́n sókè ti wà lórí ìkànnà.
Okay, ẹ kálẹ́ sà.
Ẹ kálẹ́ o.
Ẹ kú ètò sà.
Yes sir.
Yes sà. Mo ń pè láti Iceland. Ẹ ṣe rí mo fẹ́ pe àkíyèsí àwọn bàbá ṣe nǹkan kankan. Mo wà ní Nàìjíríà ní January tí di oṣù kẹta oṣù tó kọjá. Mo wá ṣàwọn àkíyèsí kan. Ẹ rí àwọn estate tó jẹ́ táwọn olówó wa tó ní agájẹjẹ ẹ̀ ń gbé. Nígbà tí wọ́n ti Ìbàdàn. Apá níbi tó mi gan ní apartment tí mo ní sáìtì sí. Mo wo àwọn tó jẹ́ security tó ń gbà sílé. Àwọn mọ́láyé ló pọ̀ jù. Tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ gba ẹnìkan tó bá di ìrọ̀lẹ́ tó bá close àwọn tó ń gbọ̀ kadà wọ́n bá close. Ibi tí àwọn gate man tó ń gbà yẹn ibi tí wọ́n ń gbé pẹ̀lú àwọn yẹn náà bíi 4-5 máa wá tó máa sun lé gate man tó máa fún ọ náà kó máa ń kọ́lé gate man sí di entrance bẹ́ẹ̀ náà wọ́n máa sùn. So if wọ́n á pòṣì bíi tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo wa yẹn tó wà ní opposite to the same thing náà ni. Ṣé wọn ọ̀dà ipá àti iná sí orí òrùlé sùn ó yẹ káyìn lẹ́tà àwọn yẹn wá. If wọ́n á pò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà kò sí Ìbàdàn nìkan and many other states. Lẹ́tà àwọn yẹn máa wọ pé káwọn máa gbà mọ́lá sílé. Mo wá bí ẹnìkan lè rí àwọn tó jẹ́ bíi community ìdàlérè àmì pé kí ló dé pé bó ṣe sọ àwọn mọ́là náà gbà ní ìgbà rẹ̀ àdìsọ́ pàdé fún òmìnira. Báwo náà ti máa gbàbọ̀dé fún wa? Tó bá di alẹ́ ẹ̀ máa rọ́kadà tó máa páàkì síwájú ilé tó máa pọ̀. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ lè gba security sílé. Èyàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀ǹdẹ́jà láìpẹ́ á ti fi ayé ọgbẹ́ sínú ewu táàmù. So wọ́n ní pé nǹkan tó fà ní pé wọn lè máa gbé wa because tó bá ń sọ nǹkan wọn lè máa gbọ́ wọn gbàbọ̀dé àwọn náà gbàbọ̀dé fún yẹn jù. So ó yẹ ká láìka àwọn yẹn wa lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ pé ká bá wọn bá àwọn ètò táwọn bá lè ṣe àtàwọn tó wà Nàìjíríà lè ṣe pé gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ bíi
community leaders ní àwọn state kọ̀ọ̀kan ó jẹ́ kí Yorùbá kí wọ́n bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tó ti gba àwọn Haúsá yìí sílé kí wọ́n mú sí máa ilé wọn ó jẹ́ pé àwọn security company tó wà ń sìn àwọn iléeṣẹ́ security tó wà Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn lè gbà wọ́n àwọn tó dẹ̀ mọ́tẹ̀ train àwọn ọmọ tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn lè gbà wọ́n sílé èèyàn máa fún ọ ní sọ́ọ́rẹ́ àwọn company èèyàn máa sanwó fún lóṣooṣù ó kàn dẹ̀ máa balẹ̀ so tàbá ṣe pé àwọn area kan wọ̀ jẹ́ pé tàbá fura sí ó lè léwu gidigidi lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ó máa kọ́ mọ́ tẹ ìwọ̀n gbé lẹ́nu aṣàkíyèsí àwọn mo fẹ́ káwọn bàbá tó bá wà ní láti àwọn èèyàn lé àwọn nǹkan tó bá lè ṣe láàrin area yẹn lẹ́pà fi lè lẹ́yìn ní ètò gbogbo àwọn kan tó wà ní gbogbo sáìtì tó jẹ́ pé kò ní jẹ́ fún wa because tá a bá gbà wọ́n sí nísìn tá a bá gbòmìnira tá a bá lọ fi sẹ́lẹ̀ wọn àti gba òmìnira gẹ́gẹ́ téèyàn bá gba àwọn tó jẹ́ àjèjì sílẹ̀ àwọn tó sọ pé wọn à nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa tàbí wọ́n ń gba àwọn mọ́ra ó léwu so àwọn nǹkan tí ìfẹ́ contribute yẹn
ẹ ṣe gan-an sá
ó tó bá yẹn láti àwọn èèyàn lílé yẹn.
ẹ ṣe ẹ dúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run á dúró tì yín.
nǹkan lálẹ́.
àní gba ìpè ní ìmọ̀ ní orí ètò ìlálẹ̀ nítorí àkókò wa àní gbà pé níwà àti sọ́tẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn kan máa gbarú àwọn èèyàn báyìí sílé mọ́ láti máa bá wọn ṣe ọlọ́dẹ nítorí pé oríṣiríṣi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ láti rí tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ arábìnrin wa kan tó yẹ pé àwọn tó gbà sílé ló fẹ́ pa tó gbà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọlọ́dẹ ló fẹ́ pa kí arábìnrin náà tó sá lọ sílùú Canada gbogbo yẹn ni a ti pín káàkiri.
àwọn ọlọ́pìnrin Nigerian Petroleum top officer kan báyìí obìnrin tí ẹ rántí gbà tí ìkan náà sultan tí plane crash tó já tí wọ́n kú tí àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àmọ́ wa náà wà bẹ́ẹ̀. I happen to know somebody tó wà nínú ẹ̀ tán ní kó lọ sí branch bank ní Sokoto torí plane yẹn lọ sí Sokoto so ìgbà tí incident yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́là tó ń ṣọ́ arábìnrin tó wá bẹ̀ sí ń ké Ọbásanjọ́ don kill Sadana o Ọbásanjọ́ don kill Sadana o ni ìyá yẹn sọ pé ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ má bínú ó ti tó bẹ́ẹ̀ the next thing ó dẹ̀ yọ ìdá ó pa woman yìí. That rántí date yẹn kill the woman. You see there are so many things that is they are pointers they are sleeper elements in our midst. Ó ti pẹ́ tán ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀ ó ti pẹ́ ìgbà tán ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wá kànga fún wa tí inú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa máa ń dùn pé kànga wó lu málà àbí gàmbàrí la máa ń pè wọ́n gbà yẹn kò lẹ́jọ́ because wọ́n ní kò lẹ́bí táwọn máa report fún bàtí ò ní fà àdírẹ́sì sílẹ̀ but wọ́n lá àdírẹ́sì wọ́n mọ ibi tán wà gbogbo náà mọ ibi tán wà látọ̀hún àwọn ọ̀gá wọn àwọn members of house àwọn kínní gbogbo ọ̀kadà tẹ́rí yẹn àwọn big men wọn lórí ọ̀kadà fún ọ tán kó wá sísàlẹ̀ kì í ṣe pé kán wá ṣiṣẹ́ láti wo ìlú wa ni èmi ti sọ kínní ti pẹ́ more than almost 20 years ago pé àwọn ilé sleeper elements ni wọ́n á gbéyàn wọ́n á pòyìpòyàn tí tán bá rí àdírẹ́sì yẹn ìwọ tán gbé lo máa tún ṣèjúwe fún wọn pẹ̀lú broken English. Èkó try tí wọ́n tán lé wọn lọ àní wọ́n níjọ́ kejì tán lé wọn lọ wọ́n ní àwọn trailers wá tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí kó gbogbo kíni motorcycle wọn lọ sí padà sílùú wọn because ṣé àwọn náà lè afford it? No. The signal was already sent and they are using shortwave radio. Ẹ̀rí wọn tí gbogbo wọn máa ń mú rédíò dání there is always a time tó máa ń fún ọ ní signal that I know and then Kaduna radio Nigeria Kaduna is on shortwave wọ́n refuse kó jẹ́ tisat kó jẹ́ shortwave mo sọ fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní kínní wọ́n ti pè because it's a vast land ṣé ọ̀dọ̀ wa náà wà vast land ni ok medium wave tá à ń lò medium wave Èkó ṣó dé Ìbàdàn tàbí ṣó dé Òkìtìpupa ṣó dé kínní no we should also have had shortwave transmission You see, there are so many things wherever a notification there's in Tewari, including this electricity and sorry. A power station. If you remember, during the era of Obasanjo, there was the attempt to rebuild some of these gas-fired power stations. And you know the arrangement, if you can all remember, political arrangement, where northern governors, Lomama inspect the progress, the built here, pay our certain governors, Ama Lossi to not. But there was not that exchange at any point. At the end of the day, was the power stations built? No. It's there in the open. Why would the people like Baba Mi come as a pay in Luta or Jafo? You didn't fight for it. It was not created for you. That's how I'm going to explain to him. His forefathers did not create Nigeria. So you are not fighting for nothing. The negotiation was not a negotiation. It was just a piecemeal, piecemeal collective. It was not even a collective. And as a result, the British who won the place, when people refused to relinquish it, yet I told you what he said. God will punish anybody who says we should be a free trade area. And I also said we should, we saw some difference for freedom. I don't blame him for saying that. But they are looking, he was looking at the bigger picture of a big nation. We are the same people. How can you say the same people when you are Yoruba and the other person is Fulani? You can't be the same people. The Europeans, they say they are the same people. They say I'm French, you are German, you are Italian, you are... Even look at how close the Portuguese and Spanish are. They know themselves separate. Even though their language is almost similar, just like Shekiri language and Yoruba language. You see, we are not thinking. That's what it becomes a comic comedy in my mind, because I don't want to get to a level whereby it depresses me. It doesn't depress me. It amuses me that look at the big picture in the open and we are walking through it, you are not looking at it. It makes me to laugh. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Baba. I really appreciate all your education today. I want to thank you for what you've done for us. You've been able to crack it hard again. Tomorrow, I will be begging Baba to bring Baba again tomorrow, because it's getting to a stage now that I'm just enjoying it. I want it to continue. I don't want it to stop. But unfortunately, somehow it has to stop, because we have other people that has other things to do, and we cannot just continue forever and ever. I'm going to be letting Baba go now, so that tomorrow, 11 o'clock is our time in the night tomorrow again. I don't know, maybe I should take this call before we finalize it. No, I will abandon the call. Uncle, I won't be able to. We've actually closed the calling. The calling has been stopped, yeah? It might be no sense. Okay. Oh, yeah, kí wọ́n pa àbá. Yàmí?
Ẹ ṣé o,
ẹ ṣé gan ni kò ní rẹ̀ ẹ ṣé gan sà. Ẹ ṣé sà. Ẹ kú àfọ̀mọ́ ẹ ṣé. Mo dúpẹ́ o. Ẹ ṣé gan. Olóòtú tí mo kì í yín o. Ẹ ṣé bàbá o.
Kẹ́yìn náà máa nà wẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká ìjọ máa sọ̀rọ̀ sókè o.
Ó dàrọ̀, ire o. Ẹ máa gbọ́ lọ lọ́dọ̀ yín o. Okay? So I'm going to let Baba go while I round up the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Mo bẹ̀ yín Baba ẹ lọ sùn ní aago 11 ọ̀la, ṣé ẹ fún wa ní ààyè láti pàdé.
Because this is my free time until 1st of May.
Yeah. So,
and then if we can get all these things so that we can audio it, so that we can pass it into WhatsApp, this in channels or YouTube for our use back home to listen to, because I've been a lot of people are asking for these messages from me already. And I was able to have convinced the use of in Nakoko, a lot of the small towns there, about the future of the Yoruba race, that they all are saying that they don't want the Fulanis in the land. They should go to their homeland back. So the message is getting to the grassroots. But in Lagos and Ibadan, because the people are still struggling to make a living, and they all have phones. We have to tap into those phones to get our message across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Baba. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín o, Ọlọ́run á dúró tì í sà. Ẹ ṣé sà, tó bá dọ̀là lágbára Ọlọ́run. Bàbá wa Pa Alex Ajala láti ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ láti bí wákàtí mẹ́ta sẹ́yìn wá. A dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn pé wọ́n kó ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe, wọ́n kó àdúrótì. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, a ní rí jù báyìí lọ lálẹ́ yìí. Whatever you want to do, let me know. I'm going to change the number being displayed. So if you want to get a t-shirt, that is the number to call. If you want to speak to me privately, that is the number to call. Please, if it's not important that you call me, tí ó bá ṣe pàtàkì pé kẹ́ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ní láti bá mi sọ̀rọ̀. Gbogbo information tẹ́ fẹ́ send me yẹn, 80%, 95% of it, I've already have it. I have them already. So you might not need to send me anything again. Say this is this or this is this or that is that. 99.9% of the time, you will want to recharge me. And in ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tí n bá rí náà ni mo máa lè sọ fún yín gbà míì. Nítorí pé kì í ṣe gbogbo ẹni tó wà yàtọ̀ sáwọn tí n bá mọ̀ dáadáa. Mi lè sọ fún yín pé báyìí ló ṣe rí báyìí ló ṣe rìn. Nítorí pé mo fẹ́ mọ ẹni tí mò ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ gan. Ó dẹ̀ ṣòro kí n tó máa tú gbogbo àṣírí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá fún gbogbo ènìyàn. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹni tí ò bá tí ì fi ìfẹ́ hàn lórí fídíò yìí lórí ètò tá a ṣe lálẹ́ yìí, ẹ bá mi fi ìfẹ́ hàn. Ẹni tí can you show us the new Orí Olókun t-shirt? Okay, I will show you. It's a request. I don't have a choice. That is it there. That is the new Orí Olókun t-shirt. Orí Olókun on the shoulder. And that's the stars already. The red thing you're seeing in the chest there is called Proudly Yoruba. What we wrote in the middle there is Proudly Yoruba there. And that is the cap that we have. It's still Orí Olókun cap as well. The táwọn obìnrin yẹn ó ní bí pink nínú díẹ̀ táwọn ọkùnrin ló ní white yìí. We are fún àwọn ọkùnrin náà obìnrin náà ní white yìí o, but obìnrin nìkan la máa ń fún on a gamble basis. La máa ń fún ní tó ní pink nínú ní orí òkè yẹn díẹ̀ pink rẹ́súrẹ́sú náà ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀ kì í ṣe pé nǹkan tó pọ̀ lọ títí. Ẹni tí ó bá fẹ́ t-shirt ẹ mọ nọ́mbà tí ẹ lè pè wá sí. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ fún nǹkan tá à ń ṣe, nọ́mbà tí ẹ lè pè wá sí náà ni àkọsójú ẹ̀ yẹn. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ the herbal medicine, if anybody want the herbal medicine, nọ́mbà tí ẹ lè pè wá sí náà nìyẹn. Bákan náà kí ló tún kù tí mo fẹ́ sọ? Ó dà pé gbogbo ẹ̀ náà láti sọ yẹn. Ọlọ́run kó dúró tì wá. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ pọ̀lọpọ̀. Sagacity ẹ̀ ṣe wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run á dúró tì yín. Ojú ò ní tì yín. Gbogbo ìdáwọ́lé wa Ọlọ́run àánú a máa bá wa ṣe, a máa yọrí sí rere. Mo kí yín púpọ̀ ẹ kú ìfọmọnìyàn ṣe. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń bá wa ṣe tó ń yanjú yẹn, inú mi máa ń dùn ní gbogbo ìgbà ni. Nítorí pé èmi nìkan ò lè dá ṣe, àwa nìkan ò lè dá ṣe. Àjọ máa ṣe náà ni. Herbal medicine wa òun nìyẹn, òun lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Òun nìyẹn. Natural herbal remedy for HBP ni a pè orúkọ rẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ẹ jọ̀ọ́ nọ́mbà tẹ́ lè pè wá sí òun ni a kọ sí orí ètò yẹn. Ẹ pè wá sí orí rẹ̀. Ó dà pé gbogbo tá a fẹ́ sọ lálẹ́ náà àti sọ nìyẹn. Títí di lọ́rọ̀ àwọn ẹni tí ò bá gbọ́ tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n kidnap ní Gángan lénìí. Àwọn tán kidnap ní Gángan lénìí. A ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ ní agbára Ọlọ́run ọba aláwùrábí, ọba tó ní ayé àti ọ̀run, Ọlọ́run gbogbo ẹ̀dá ènìyàn, gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa tán mú ń bẹ̀. Ọlọ́run á bá wa gbà wọ́n jáde láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà. Àwa náà ò sinmi, a dẹ̀ ń gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ní gbogbo ọ̀nà ọlọ́run á fún wa ṣe. Mi ní lè sọ púpọ̀ lórí rẹ̀ nítorí pé à ń ṣe àwọn iṣẹ́ kan lọ́wọ́ lórí ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nítorí pé àwọn iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe lórí ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yẹn kò ní lè jẹ́ kí n sọ much fún yín nípa ẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n ní agbára ọlọ́run tó bá di ọ̀la màá fún yín ní gbogbo lowdown tẹ́ bá fẹ́ mọ̀ lórí àwọn tí wọ́n mú ní àwọn tí wọ́n kidnap ní Ìgàngán ní lẹ́ni which is àná nísìnyí ó ti dàná nísìnyí ní London ó ti dàná l'Amẹ́ríkà èmi sì ní ọ̀dọ̀ yín níbẹ̀ yẹn. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tó bá mi ṣe ètò yìí. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹni tí ò bá tí ì láìkì ètò yìí Olúwaṣemílóore Olúṣọlá mo rí yín o. Nọ́mbà t-shirt, nọ́mbà Aba Remedy, nọ́mbà support tẹ bá fẹ́ dá sí t-shirt Nigeria náà nọ́mbà tẹ máa pè sí nìyẹn. Koiki Radio is still ongoing if you want to support. What else do I need to say? Please support him generously. He was working tirelessly for Oduduwa Nation. So please, if you can, please support. And you should be able to. Because if you don't, then what are we fighting this struggle for? Ọlọ́run àánú adúró ti gbogbo wa. Mo kí yín púpọ̀ pé ẹ ṣé ẹ kú ìfọmọ ènìyàn ṣe. Títí di ọ̀la ní aago 7 ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ ọ̀la ẹ máa pàdé Dr. Pọ̀sí Ọlátúbọ̀sún lórí ètò Yorùbá Gbayì ní ọ̀la ní agbára Ọlọ́run ọba aláwùrábí. Ṣùgbọ́n títí di ní aago 11 alẹ́ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí Dr. Pọ̀sí bá ṣe tán weekly review ló yẹ ká ṣe lọ́la. Ṣùgbọ́n a máa shift weekly review yẹn sí ọjọ́ mi ká bá lè tap into Baba's brain because Baba's brain is working wonders for us. Àwọn nǹkan tí bàbá ń tú fún wa yẹn ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó ní agbára, nǹkan tó lágbára. Wọ́n ti bà náà jẹ́, wọ́n ti bà bóyá nǹkan tá a máa sọ lọ́la bóyá waterways wa a máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa èyí tó ń ṣe fẹ́ waterways wa àti ruga ká mú méjèèjì ká tìmọ̀ ẹ̀ papọ̀ ká sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀ kó bá di odidi. Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá mi dá sétò ìlálẹ́ yìí bóyá mo dárúkọ yín o bóyá mi dárúkọ yín ṣùgbọ́n mo retí ọwọ́ ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan yín ẹ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ ẹ fà á lọ sókè ẹ bá wa pín kínní ẹ ra t-shirt kẹ́ fi polówó Odùduwà Nation. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ra t-shirt ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti ra t-shirt ẹ má dé mọ́lẹ̀ o ẹ wọ ni o dípò tẹ́ bá pẹ́ máa dé mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ má ra o but ẹ bá máa wọ̀ yes you should try and buy it. It goes a long way because it has a lot of advertisement involved. Wọ́n polówó ẹni eléyìí tí mo wọ̀ yìí stone náà fi ṣe òkè yẹn that's why ló ṣe ń blink yẹn if you see it it's blinking and oríṣiríṣi ló wà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ ṣe mọ̀ whatever you want please let me know Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ di gbogbo wa mú títí di ọ̀la tí ọ̀pàdé mi lórí ètò again èmi ní tí ń tòótọ́ Adégbóyèga ní orúkọ tèmi ó dìgbà.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Oduduwa Nation.